Police spokeswoman Sherry Spotke says the suspected gunman's in custody. Drama at the Daytona Beach, Florida boardwalk last night. A roller coaster derailed. 2 riders fell more than 30 feet to the ground. We don't know how badly hurt they are. 8 others were left dangling, had to be rescued. Fox News. Farron Bell.
66 degrees at 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Northern Illinois, brace for that heat wave. It's rolling in. Not right away today, but we could hit 90 by later today, and that excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow morning and lasts until Monday night when the weather breaks significantly. National Weather Service says, again, temps will Saturday and Sunday hit the upper 90s with heat indexes in the triple digits. 1 man is dead, another wounded following a shooting on Chicago's far south side. Police say the pair were shot last night in the 1300 block of West 108th Street. One of the men died at the scene, the other hospitalized in good condition. No one is in custody. Mayor Emanuel and tech entrepreneur Elon Musk willing to roll the dice, announcing plans to create a high-speed mass transit tunnel between the Loop and O'Hare. AM 560's David Stewart reports on the proposed Hyperloop.
Mayor Emanuel says the Hyperloop system will carry 16 passenger autonomous vehicles at more than 100 miles an hour and make the trip to O'Hare in 12 minutes.
And to put that in context, that 12-minute ride is 3 songs on your iPhone.
Musk would bear the construction cost and operate the system with the price of rides comparable to a cab trip. How long until it's up and running?
Aspirationally, it would be within 18 to 24 months, but I would say it's very unlikely to be more than 3 years.
With digging to start as soon as this year. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Jury deliberations wrapped up last night with a guilty verdict in the trial of a man charged with first-degree murder in the February 2014 death of a Southern Illinois University student from the Chicago suburbs. 23-year-old Gagey Bethune of El Dorado, Illinois, is accused of striking 19-year-old Pravin Varghese several times and then driving off, which then led to his death from hypothermia. Prosecutors contended an intoxicated Bethune and Varghese drove around Carbondale looking for cocaine. After a fight, wearing only a T-shirt and blue jeans, Varghese ran into the woods. His body was found several days later. The city of Chicago is letting the public view videotape depositions of Mayor Emanuel and Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson in the Quintonio LeGrier wrongful death lawsuit. Footage was released yesterday after a jury was selected in the suit filed against the city and the Chicago police officer who shot and killed LeGrier in 2015. A man convicted of killing 2 Chicago police officers nearly 40 years ago is getting a new trial. Cook County judge overturned the conviction of Jackie Wilson yesterday. Wilson claimed disgraced former Chicago Police Commander John Burge and his crew tortured him into confessing to the killings of officers Richard O'Brien and William Fahey in 1982. Authorities continue the search for a man who robbed a bank in Lamont. The FBI says the robbery happened yesterday at a TCF bank branch in the 1200 block of State Street. 2 are in custody after a person was shot in Naperville. Police say the shooting happened in the 500 block of Fessler Avenue, and the investigation continues. The University of Chicago will become the first major U.S. private research university to stop requiring American undergrads submit ACT or SAT scores. The decision that school officials say is designed to help even the playing field for students from low-income or underrepresented communities has been made by some liberal arts colleges, but the school's the first major research university to do so. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner grants a school board member from Waukegan a pardon for his nearly 40-year-old felony conviction. Jeff McBride's petition was one of 5 the governor granted last month. Illinois Prison Review Board Chief Legal Counsel Jason Sweat told the Lake County News-Sun Rauner denied clemency to nearly 60 other petitions before picking McBride, who had won a seat on the Waukegan District 60 board in April of 2017. He had previously served on the board and in other elected positions. An unsuccessful candidate for the school board questioned McBride's eligibility because of a 1981 felony theft conviction. McBride's attorney says there is a legal exception for those who receive pardons to hold office. And now Governor Bruce Rauner has given McBride that pardon. Chicago sports. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the rival Cardinals tonight at Busch, while Jose Ramirez belts a go-ahead 2-run home run in the 7th inning. Indians go on to beat the White Sox 5-2. Jose Abreu with the 2-run shot in the 1st inning for the Southsiders. Former Oklahoma point guard Trae Young worked out for the Bulls yesterday. Chicago has the number 7 pick in the 1st round of next week's NBA draft. The News is a service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers. Did you know Rogers and Hollins is Chicagoland's oldest and largest family-owned jewelry company? With an amazing selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, unique thank you gifts for your bridal party, and perfect gifts to give each other. It's no wonder couples have been trusting them for over 100 years. 5:07, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed one sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
You know, 67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are one in itself. I know.
Great. I'll take one turkey tom, please.
Freak yeah, one turkey tom on the way.
Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The warmth of sun is here for you to enjoy the great outdoors. Feel like an instant getaway with a beach vibe and fun for the entire family? There's a place nearby you're going to want to check out. Bridges Waterside Grill and Bridge Inn in Michigan City, Indiana. Bridge Inn is the perfect place for your Lake Michigan escape. Amazing attractions like the Uptown Arts District, boutique shopping, beaches, the zoo, casino, and museums are all in walking distance. Bridge Inn offers year-round lodging, but you can take in the sunshine at the Bridges Waterside Grill through September. Grab a cocktail and dine on fish tacos, burgers, and wraps with lots of vegetarian and seafood options. Book one of 14 suites at Bridge Inn before summer sells out. Bridges is located near the rotating train bridge on the Trail Creek waterfront in the heart of Michigan City. Don't visit Michigan City without stopping by the Bridge Inn and Bridges Waterside Grill. For more info and availability, visit bridgeinnmc.com. That's bridgeinnmc.com.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good Friday morning, Mike. Glendale Heights eastbound North Avenue was closed from east of Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road after a major crash on North Avenue with Western. Brookfield starting today. Prairie closes. Burlington and Brookfield. This is Brookfield Boulevard. That's for rail crossing work on the BNSF line until Saturday the 23rd. North side of Chicago, we're seeing heavy traffic right now at Devon, California Ridge. Expressways and tollways are looking pretty good. The Kennedy reversible is just open on the inbound side after the overnight closure, flipping. Still a little morning road work here and there, but the other expressways and tollways are looking good. Traffic service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft. Malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK. Save an additional 10% off your first year. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat watch in effect tomorrow morning through Monday evening. More humid day with clouds and sun, high 88. Tonight, air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups. It will be very warm and humid, partly cloudy with a low of 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, 67 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Kristen McQuarrie, Chicago Tribune editorial board member. And Kristen, welcome back. When we last checked in with you last week, you were in the process of moving. I mean, you know, the Tribune was kicked out of Trib Tower.
Yes.
Down to kind of generic office space at the Prudential Building. How did that transition go? How are you
How am I coping?
coming along with the new digs?
You know, I was surprisingly a little emotional leaving Tribune Tower, but our new space is beautiful and updated, modern. Prudential has been very welcoming. There's a big electronic mural when you walk in that says, "Welcome to our newest tenant, the Chicago Tribune." We have a new boardroom, so it's nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very
no
good.
Complaints.
We missed you at the golf outing, radio station golf outing. Normally, the Chicago Tribune has a foursome. Well, that's not true.
No.
But it would be nice, you know. I mean,
I could
how about a
serve
little
drinks,
something
but
for
I
the
don't
effort?
golf. How did it go?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
Is it like a competition? Did you win?
It's what we call the scramble in the business of golf outings. And actually, in the afternoon, there's a morning shotgun and afternoon shotgun. And in the afternoon, my team did win.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I played with Des Clark,
I
Chicago
don't know
Bears.
who that is. Okay.
What?
I know. I'm sorry.
Chicago Bears, longtime tight end for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet he played better than you did.
No.
Really?
He crushes the ball because he's a huge man when he connects. But, you know, he's only gotten the six out a couple times this year. He's a pretty good player. I mean, but he just doesn't play that much. Super nice guy, though. Very fun. Some great Jay Cutler stories.
Really? Ooh, share some.
Well,
you just sprinkle them in during the show.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. We have important business to get to because while I was gallivanting on a golf course with a fellow world-class athlete and Des Clark.
Fellow, right.
It was nice to be with, you know, kind of somebody at my echelon in terms of...
I don't know. I think your golf game's pretty uneven.
Yeah,
is that
I would
a
say
generous
uneven.
way of putting it?
I would say uneven is generous. I was speaking really more of my Dungeons and Dragons game when comparing world-class status.
Sure.
But was on the golf course, and of course the Inspector General's report, the much anticipated Inspector General's report, came out yesterday. And the question: should Trump fire the FBI? Not the director, not the senior leadership, the entire agency. It's not like the agency was conceived by our founding fathers. Should he? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Not a particularly glowing report of Jim Comey's FBI by the DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz, to say the least. 500-page report, the upshot of which sort of a disgraceful culture, a culture where those in senior leadership positions felt that the laws didn't apply to them and that they could prosecute their political grievances through the nation's top law enforcement agency.
Right. I just broadly speaking, I don't know that there has been a bigger triumph for Donald Trump in his presidency than this report, because for all of these months when he is tweeting about DOJ and Comey, and the media is just slaughtering him for marring the reputation of these fine institutions.
Right. Threatening our democracy
Threatening our
by
democracy.
undermining law enforcement.
I mean, like, he would tweet one or two things, 24, 48-hour news cycle, panels on CNN, and lo and behold, he's been right. And these institutions are not above scrutiny. And he does, for all the crazy things that Donald Trump does, he does have sort of a gut check. And I think his gut was right on all of this, and it was revealed in this report. And that's the only hopeful thing, is that there is still apparently an independent IG to watchdog some of these very powerful federal agencies.
Well, and it's interesting to kind of take a perusal of the coverage from across the spectrum and across outlets. And what you get from the left is the headline, no finding of political bias. That's the spin they're trying to offer in the wake of this devastating report. Here's an example of this. Chris Klizza, the insufferable political reporter, gossip columnist at the Washington Post.
Everything that Giuliani is talking about, and I watched a little bit of that, everything that Giuliani is talking about is hung on 7 words from Peter Strzok in response to Lisa Page, Donald Trump makes a lot of this. They were in an extramarital relationship. That is a fact that exists. I'm not sure how it pertains to this, but she texts him and says, and this is unprofessional, she texts him and says, Donald Trump isn't going to win, is he? I'm paraphrasing. And he responds, no, we'll take care of it. Now, that's not how any of us want the FBI to work. At the same time, we'll stop it.
Right.
There's nothing that was found in the IG report, 500-plus pages, that suggests those 7 words that Strzok typed out biased the investigation.
I mean, it's tortured spin. You get to it. Of course, we've talked about Strzok and Page at some length over the many months this has been ongoing. But the whole kind of no finding of bias, not exactly. That's not exactly what the IG's report actually says. For example, on the issue of Strzok's text messages from the report, these text messages caused us to assess Strzok's decision in October of 2016 to prioritize the Russia investigation over following up on the mid-year related investigative lead discovered on the Wiener laptop. We concluded that we did not have confidence that this decision by Strzok was free from bias. We concluded we did not have confidence that the decision by Strzok was free from bias. That's not the same thing as what is intended by the position DOJ finds no bias. That's not exactly what the DOJ Inspector General is saying.
No, and I think Kimberly Strassel of the Wall Street Journal, in some of her tweets, sums this up really well. She says, "Don't believe anyone who claims Horowitz didn't find bias. He very carefully says he found no documentary evidence that bias produced specific decisions. It means he didn't catch anyone doing anything so dumb as writing down that they took a specific step to aid a candidate." That's all they're saying. That you.
Well, we didn't have somebody saying, "I am doing this because I want Donald Trump to lose and Hillary Clinton to win," just so everybody knows.
Yes, I'm going to twist this investigation in favor of Hillary Clinton because she's my candidate and I want her to win. No, they didn't find anyone specifically saying that, but I think the fabric, the pattern that he lays out in 500 pages surely shows that there was bias.
And there's so much here. Obama lied to us about what he knew about the Hillary Clinton emails, which we sort of knew during the campaign, but this provides some added confirmation and context. Jim Comey getting trolled by Hillary Clinton. My emails, Hillary tweeted, because Comey was using a Gmail account for FBI business.
Not equivalent, though. Not equivalent.
Correct.
She's using several private servers and then using BleachBit to erase her emails before producing them, which her lawyers combed through in 2014. Not exactly the same thing.
Erase it? How you mean, like with a cloth? Bob and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, there's no bias. I'm not a white middle-aged old guy. So what they should do is they should give a secret ballot to all of the agents in the FBI, asking them who they would trust to be their leaders. Don't give a ballot to anybody who's already in a position of leadership because they've all lied to us. So the rank and file are the guys that get their hands dirty every day. They should also ask the question is, who would like to come before Congress and the Senate to testify about what went on in the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump hearings? And then they wouldn't have to give anybody immunity in the upper echelon to get the answers they need, because all the guys that are honest would come forth and just tell them straight out.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Jordan in Forest Park.
Hey, Dan. Good morning. Hey, Kristen, one of the, I thought, more interesting parts of this report was the special favors that were provided to FBI agents by the news media. And in some cases, it was dozens of media people that were involved in this. And I wondered if you'd ever heard of anything like that before in your experience.
Thanks, Jordan.
I mean, so I've been sort of astounded at some of the defense of this type of behavior, as if you have to do this sort of unethical behavior in order to get information. I mean, I can just speak to my experience. I've been a reporter now for 20-something years. We sign an agreement every year at the Tribune that I'm not allowed to take dinner from somebody else. I'm not allowed to sign a petition. I can't put up a yard sign. If I have outside sources of income above a certain amount, I have to report that. I have to report if I have, dividends or stocks or anything that would influence my reporting. To think that this is somehow just the way business is done, and if you're at the higher echelons of covering the national security, this is what you have to do. You maybe have to sleep with a source. That's the defense of the New York Times reporter. It's absurd to me, and it really undercuts what people like me are out trying to do every day, which is not engage in anything that could offer anyone to criticize me for a conflict of interest.
Right, and there are strict rules regarding gift giving to executive branch officials, and this is what Jordan is referring to in the IG's report. There were gifts in question, including tickets to sporting events, golf outings, drinks and meals, admittance to non-public social events. The Inspector General reports that they will separately report on those investigations as they are concluded, consistent with the applicable law. That's in the report. So there's the kind of smoke there, but we don't know how much fire there is at this point. Ed in Oak Brook.
I expected this, and I'm not really disappointed. I'm just ashamed of this country. But the point I want to make is that I understand the liberal media, and you played some pieces, denying this practically with their verbiage. But what I don't understand is your regular rank-and-file person out in America that has any education at all, not seeing for what this is really all about, how these people just manipulated everything to try and get Hillary to win. And it's the bottom line is they were more afraid of Hillary winning and ruining their careers than actually doing what they were supposed to do. And if you study things in the past, like the 911 thing, I'm starting to get around to that, you'll find that the FBI was dropping the ball all over that investigation as well, or that prior to that. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Ed. Well, the Kimberly Strassel, going back to her and her op-ed in the Journal, says you can sum up this 568-page report, 2 words: insubordination and bias. I think there is a third word, and it's competence. That's what Ed just said, and we'll get to that.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Don't miss the Father's Day sale at your local Ace. Save $100 or more on what Dad really wants. That's right. Save $100 or more on select gifts from Traeger, Craftsman, and DeWalt. The best brands for Dad under one roof. And with so many great gifts at your neighborhood Ace, Father's Day shopping has never been easier. Hurry in for the Father's Day sale right now at Ace. Offers valid on select items through June 18th at participating stores only. See store for details.
Napa know-how.
Your broken AC may not be broken. It may just need a recharge with the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Just $39.99 plus an additional $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Just pull the trigger and brrr. The Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Now $39.99 plus $15 prepaid Visa card. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/18.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from spring steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ULTIClip.com. Ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher and Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher and Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at KelleherBuckley.com.
The Northwest Side GOP Club presents the Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet. Join them for their annual fundraiser and more, June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. This is a great opportunity for Chicago area Republicans to get together for an enjoyable evening of information, fellowship, and the promotion of conservative Republican values. The evening begins with a first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rock group Madison Rising and continues with networking, exhibitors, raffles, and a delicious banquet dinner with keynote speaker Dan Proft from AM 560's The Morning Answer. Recently appointed co-chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, Mark Shaw, will also speak on the role of conservatives within the Illinois Republican Party. Like any good conservative collective, the Ill-Advised event will offer attendees the opportunity to interact with local and national organizations, Republican candidates, and elected officials. Don't miss the Northwest Side GOP Club's Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet with first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rockers Madison Rising, exhibitors, Republican candidates, and elected officials. June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. Join them as a sponsor, exhibitor, presenter, or attendee. For tickets and complete information, visit il-advised.com. That's il-advised.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Krista McQuarrie in for Amy this morning, and a lot of responses to the Inspector General's report, including an op-ed by Jim Comey in the New York Times.
Oh, I missed that. I just saw some of his tweets. What did he say?
Well, we'll have that at 5:38. That's what we call in the business a tease.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nicely done.
But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
66 degrees, and there's some powerful thunderstorms just out to the west of the Chicago area, tracking toward us this morning. In northern Illinois is also bracing for a heat wave. The Chicago area facing an excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow morning and lasts until Monday night. FBI Director Christopher Wray says a critical new government watchdog report is very disappointing. The Justice Department Inspector General accused the Bureau of mishandling the Hillary Clinton email probe, singled out former FBI Director James Comey for criticism.
This report did not find any evidence of political bias or improper considerations actually impacting the investigation under review.
Wray said yesterday he accepts the findings and pointed out the report found no evidence of institutional political bias in the Clinton email investigation. House Speaker Paul Ryan says he is not comfortable with separating immigrant children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexican border.
What's happening at the border and the separation of parents and their children is because of a court ruling. That's why I think legislation is necessary.
Ryan would not blame the Trump administration for the immigration policy, instead blame the courts, again agreeing a legislative solution is needed. 6 are hospitalized after a roller coaster derailed at a Florida amusement park. 2 were thrown more than 30 feet when the car flew off the tracks at the Boardwalk Park near Daytona Beach. First responders also rescued 10 others from the derailment. President Trump approving $50 billion in tariffs on Chinese exports. An official announcement expected later today. This morning, Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio says he is on board with the president's plan.
They need to be temporary. That's how you do tariffs, to get as part of a policy, as part of a trade tool to get to a better policy.
The president recently imposed steep tariffs on steel and aluminum from Canada, Mexico, and the EU. 1 man is dead, another wounded following a shooting on Chicago's far south side. The pair shot last night in the 1300 block of West 108th. Mayor Emanuel says building an underground high-speed rail service is the fast lane to Chicago's future, and billionaire Elon Musk is the man to do it. Emanuel and Musk unveiled plans yesterday to create the express transit tunnels between the Loop and O'Hare. Few students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida will be in the Chicago area today, kicking off a national summer bus tour to what they call Curb Gun Violence and Rally for Peace. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the rival Cardinals tonight at Busch. Indians went on to beat the White Sox 5-2 as Jose Abreu hit a 2-run shot to power the White Sox early, but Ramirez and the Indians came back late to beat the Sox. Sox and Tigers begin a 3-game series at Guaranteed Rate Field tonight. The news service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to news that they are the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com and use promo code RISK to save an additional 10% off your first year. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says this is why you elected Donald Trump.
The president is correct in calling off the Eagles' White House visit, telling ungrateful, overpaid athletes that if you can't take a few minutes and not aggressively disrespect the national anthem, and you don't want to go to the White House, then your team, including its owner and coaches, are certainly not welcome either. This is why you elected Donald Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life. A moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
5:35. Let's get an update on that morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. CTA Blue Line trains are standing near Cumberland on the inbound or Forest Park-bound side. It's due to a mechanical problem on one of the trains. Glendale Heights eastbound North Avenue is closed east of Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road due to a major crash. Cadence is fine. Kennedy as well. No delays to report yet on the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson got some heavy pockets between Harlem and the Ryan. 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan has a 2-minute delay, Cermak to Burn Circle. Bishop Ford, a 2-minute delay, 111th, 103rd. Tollways are fine. Traffic service of Rogers and Holland's Jewelers. You know, Rogers and Holland's is Chicagoland's oldest and largest family-owned jewelry company. It's an amazing selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, unique thank you gifts for your bridal party, and perfect gifts to give each other. It's no wonder couples have been trusting them for over 100 years. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Warm or humid. We'll have clouds and sunshine today and a high of 88. Currently 67. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Joe Walsh here. The Republicans are forcing a vote on amnesty next week. Call your Republican congressman and say no amnesty. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning, Kristen McQuarrie of the Chicago Tribune editorial board. And reactions pouring in to the Inspector General's report that was released yesterday, the DOJ Inspector General, that was highly critical of Jim Comey for his insubordination, generally speaking, of the FBI for judgment calls and just kind of general deviation from stated protocols within the agency. Here's what Trey Gowdy had to say. Now, Trey Gowdy, of course, a former prosecutor, inclined to be very protective of the FBI. Just last week we heard Trey Gowdy sort of rallying to the FBI's defense with respect to having that informant, a.k.a. spy, in the Trump campaign in 2016. Here's what Gowdy had to say about what this report means for the FBI.
Just what a dark day it is for the FBI and the DOJ, two institutions our country desperately needs. We desperately have to be able to have confidence in them. And this level of bias and animus, not only did he want to stop the Trump campaign, he wanted to stop the Trump presidency. This is an FBI. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was on Hillary Clinton's investigation and arguably the lead Russia investigator, not only wanted to stop his campaign, but once he won, got on the Mueller probe because he wanted to impeach him. That is a level of animus and bias that everyone should reject. And Chris Wray, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Chris, there are consequences. The consequences are that your fellow citizens question whether or not they can have confidence in the world's premier law enforcement agency, and that's coming from somebody who's defended him a lot throughout his career. This was a bitterly disappointing report.
And just to be clear, Christopher Wray, the current FBI director, has taken the dramatic step of ordering political bias training.
Oh, are you serious? For
FBI employees.
But but Peter Strzok is still, am I pronouncing that right? Strzok is still employed.
The training, though, they're going to close all the FBI field offices for a day and have the field agents watch a series of videos featuring sermons from the rapper Common.
Okay.
And then they'll
I'm for it.
Then they'll take a look at their bathroom policy.
Right.
After that.
Yes.
So that's the response. But Trey Gowdy, that's a pretty stinging indictment from an erstwhile defender of the FBI, and it's just chapter and verse of insubordination and bias and also incompetence, which we'll get to. Bruno in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, I honestly believe that some organizations cannot be reformed, that you reach a point where, the rot is so deep that you have to tear the whole house down and rebuild it because the timbers are bad. I think that's the way we are with the FBI. I think it needs to be dismantled. It's been corrupt since the days of J. Edgar Hoover. It's always been political. They have a history of railroading people. They do abuse their power, and it's been going on for a very long time. That report was a whitewash, really.
Thanks for the call, Bruno. Appreciate it. Now, that is not the opinion of one Jim Comey, who's has a starring role in this report. In the New York Times, Jim Comey has an op-ed. The report says I was wrong, but that's good for the FBI.
Yeah, this is some spin. Wow.
Everything's coming up roses here. He parrots the left's party line on no finding of bias, which is not what the report says. No evidence of bias or improper motivation affected the investigation, which I know was done completely honestly and independently, writes Comey. Second, the report is vital in shedding light for future leaders on the nature and quality of our investigation and the decisions we made. He'll just have a good old time distilling this report for his students at, where is he teaching? William and Mary?
I don't know. I was thinking I hope he made some coin on his book because I don't think he has much of a future.
A Higher Loyalty? Yeah.
Oh, is that the name of the book?
That's the name of his book, yeah. And then he gives you the same version of events that he's given in those countless interviews he did during that insufferable book tour. But here's his sort of concluding remarks. You know, he's so happy that there is this inspector general to backstop him because Jim Comey is nothing if not a humble guy. Mm-hmm. And, he has to make difficult calls, and I don't know if they're going to end up being right or not. And in hindsight, I could see other people's perspective. I really want to get this right, though. I'm really earnest about it. And that's why it's so great to have this report and this inspector general doing a review of my insubordination. As FBI director, I wanted a second set of eyes on the agonizing decisions we made. Agonizing. During the 2016 election, knowing full well the Inspector General's office could draw different conclusions. I was also confident that even if it disagreed with our decisions, it would find the FBI team made them without regard for political favor or partisanship. The Inspector General's office has now reached that very conclusion. Its detailed report should serve to both protect and build the reservoir of trust and credibility necessary for DOJ and the FBI to remain strong and independent and continue their good work for our country.
All of this just conflicts with that July 5th, 2016 press conference. Do you remember that?
Sure.
I remember.
When he exonerated Hillary.
Yes. So at that time, he was, just as a reminder, stepping outside what is the norm and making a recommendation. So his report was going to go to DOJ, and then DOJ would decide whether to prosecute. In that press conference, he said, he talked about all the violations of classified information, but also concluded that there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, but our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. So he exonerated her in July and stepped way outside the boundaries of what is the norm for the FBI. And yet we are still supposed to think that he wasn't doing that to protect her campaign.
The Inspector General's report on that matter. We found that it was extraordinary and insubordinate for Comey to conceal his intentions from his superiors, the Attorney General, the Deputy AG, for the admitted purpose of preventing them from telling him not to make the statement and to instruct his subordinates at the FBI to do the same. So the other thing that this report confirms, importantly, Trump had a basis to fire Jim Comey. Rod Rosenstein had a basis for the letter that he wrote explaining the termination of Jim Comey. And Jim Comey continues to kind of try and lie and spin and rewrite history. Just in terms of this overarching narrative you're going to hear all day from the D.C. press corps of no political bias. That's what the report found, Jim Comey declares in his op-ed. That is not true. Again, from Kim Strassel at Wall Street Journal, the report very specifically says in the summary that that bias was found everywhere, that, quote, so the biases, the decisions that were made, the basis of them, cast a cloud, quote unquote, on the entire investigation's credibility. Talking about the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the other individuals who I don't think they're named in the report, but also in combing through their emails, found all kinds of references to I'm with her and that there wasn't any substance to the interview and And then Peter Strzok, am I saying that again?
Stroke.
I'll get it by the end of the show.
Yeah, your pronunciation is more Dickensian.
Okay. That he was trying to get a job for his kid on the Hillary
Yeah,
campaign.
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, these are just disqualifying things. He was texting someone in the campaign during this investigation, reminding them that he had this great 25-year-old kid who was ready to go work for Hillary. So this idea, like you're saying, that there was no bias, it was everywhere.
And so the question is, why did he do what he did at that press conference? Why did he exonerate Hillary? And the play was some of the conventional wisdom was to protect Hillary's campaign because they wanted Hillary to win, right? What if it was to protect Obama? This is the issue that Andy McCarthy at National Review has raised from the beginning. And remember what President Obama said about when he learned of Hillary Clinton using, illegally, a private email server to conduct the public's business. He said it was after a New York Times story.
Let me just say that Hillary Clinton is and has been an outstanding public servant. She was a great Secretary of State for me. The policy of my administration is to encourage transparency, and that's why my emails, the BlackBerry that I carry around, all those records are available and archived. And I'm glad that Hillary is instructed that those emails that had to do with official business need to be disclosed.
Well, you say that you have the most transparent administration ever. You said it again just a couple of weeks ago.
It's true.
How does this square with that?
Well, I think that the fact that she's going to be putting them forward will allow us to make sure that people have the information they need.
Yeah, 3 years later, now we have the information we need from this report. FBI analysts and Prosecutor 2, this is from the IG report, told us that former President Barack Obama was one of the 13 individuals with whom Clinton had direct contact using her ClintonEmail.com account. Obama, like other high government officials, used a pseudonym for his username on his official government email account. This was reported and discussed during the campaign, but this provides the substantiation, an independent substantiation to it. Also, the report says Obama, he lied about how, his knowledge of her private email and email server. The report also says that Comey knew Obama had lied. He knew it. And so the question that should perhaps be raised is maybe it wasn't him rooting for Hillary Clinton or trying to essentially put his finger on the scale for the Clinton campaign. It was to protect his boss, the president, President Obama, Mr. Higher Loyalty.
I don't know. I think he was sitting on, I think he went into this whole investigation over the email scandal with recognizing that, or at least buying into the theory that there was no illegal intent. And even in that July 5th press conference, he admits that what they found was that that Clinton used several different servers, and administrators of those servers during her 4 years at the State Department used numerous mobile devices to view and send email on a personal domain. And then as older servers were taken out of service, they were decommissioned in various ways. I mean, this is to take all of this that he said on July 5th, and then he leads to this conclusion where, she didn't do anything wrong and he wouldn't recommend that she be prosecuted. It reminds me of do you remember 1998 when George Ryan was under federal investigation and facing Glenn Pichard?
Yeah.
I'm going on a little tangent here, but Scott Lazar, the then U.S. attorney, held a press conference to basically exonerate George Ryan and to say he was not a target of the investigation. He didn't. Pichard was putting out ads linking George Ryan to the Willis family's death, and it was a very unusual insertion of the U.S. attorney basically saying, yes, we're investigating, but George Ryan is not a target. And then look what ended up happening.
Well, maybe it's not mutually exclusive. Maybe it's his actions were to benefit both President Obama and Hillary Clinton, because here's something else that's unusual and confirmed by the IG's report. We've talked about this too. The reference to Obama is removed. A paragraph in Comey's statement summarizing the factors that led to the FBI to assess that it was possible that hostile actors accessed Clinton's server was added, and at one point referenced Clinton's use of her private email for an exchange with then-President Obama while in the territory of a foreign adversary. The reference to the exchange with Obama was later changed to another senior government official and then ultimately omitted. So why would you do that? Because it shows that Obama knew what she was doing, and it shows that Obama lied to the American public about it.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Your business is moving fast. It has to. Competition is stronger than ever. You've got a lot to deal with to keep your business moving forward. But there are some things you should delegate to others. It's the only way to concentrate on what you do best and for your business to thrive. What Turnkey IT does best is take care of every aspect of your computer and IT systems. When you go all in, they become a partner in your business's success. Your staff doesn't have time or the resources to keep up on the latest computer and software upgrades, potential threats, or know when it's time to upgrade equipment. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and more. Plus, new hardware every 4 years. Whether your business is 1 person or 200, keep it moving in the fast lane. Go all in with Turnkey IT by your side.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy!
With $226 million in dividends declared since inception, their record speaks for itself. At MagMutual, one of the leading providers of medical professional liability insurance, you're more than a policyholder, you're a policy owner. As an owner, they believe you should benefit from your company's success, which is why they strive to return as much as they can back to their policy owners. MagMutual policyholders have received annual dividends every year since 2007, and they are continually looking for ways to provide greater value to policy owners in the practice, business, and regulation of medicine. In addition, they set aside millions on their financial statements exclusively for their Owner Circle loyalty program. Over 20,000 physicians and healthcare organizations are currently benefiting from MagMutual ownership. Are you? Visit them on the web at magmutual.com.
For more information about MagMutual in Illinois, please contact Mike Blaum at Medical Risk Services at 630-821-6002 or by email at mblaum@medrisk1.com. Visit their website at medrisk1.com.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we are on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is coming, you're going to want to hire CertaPro painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Checking traffic in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 in Oakbrook. Northbound 83 is closed at 31st. Police activity. Glendale Heights eastbound North Avenue is blocked. Western, that's east of Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road due to a major crash. Edens is fine. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound it's clear. Eisenhower, 32 minutes. 390 to the Burn Circle. Stevenson, 52 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com and use promo code RISK to save an additional 10% off your first year. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat watch in effect tomorrow morning through Monday evening. Heat wave tomorrow into Monday. It will be warm and more humid today with clouds and sunshine, high 88, then partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight with a low 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, the news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates and zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:59 on AM 560. Here are the stories we're following. Northern Illinois bracing for a heat wave. An excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow morning. One man is dead, another severely wounded following a shooting on Chicago's far south side. Mayor Emanuel says building an underground high-speed rail service to O'Hare is now in the fast lane. Jury deliberations wrapping up last night with a guilty verdict in the trial of a man charged with first-degree murder in the February 2014 death of an SIU student from the Chicago suburbs. The University of Chicago is becoming the first major U.S. research university to stop requiring American undergrads submit ACT or SAT scores. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Cardinals. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Doesn't get any lower than that. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that, reacting to a text exchange detailed in the Inspector General's report, which concluded anti-Trump sentiment put a cloud over the Hillary Clinton investigation. That text between an FBI agent and lawyer. Donald Trump won't win, right? No, he won't. We'll stop it.
Democrats are quick to point out that the IG says that there were no documents or witnesses to prove that this bias affected any decisions.
Fox's Doug Luzader.
The other big headline here, James Comey, and this IG report really takes him to task over a number of decisions that he made, really accusing him of insubordination when he decided to bypass the Justice Department and publicly announced that he would not seek charges against Clinton, and then later he turned around and reopened the investigation.
2 minutes ago, the president also tweeted the IG report is a total disaster for Comey, his minions, and sadly the FBI. The U.S. may put more tariffs on more Chinese goods as soon as today. President Trump approving billions of dollars worth. China is ready to retaliate. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, the Chinese Foreign Ministry saying China will respond immediately to defend its legitimate rights if the U.S. takes actions that harm its interests. A Foreign Ministry spokesperson saying China believes progress had been made in recent talks with the Trump administration about reducing China's trade deficit with the U.S. But the spokesperson says if tariffs are imposed, the results of those talks will not take effect. Dave?
Simon, a not-so-thrilling roller coaster ride last night at the Daytona Beach, Florida boardwalk. The coaster derailed.
There were 2 people that were laying on the ground, and then 2 were trapped. And then the other 2 carts were still on the track, but it was kind of leaning over.
The 2 on the ground fell more than 30 feet. They and 4 others were hospitalized. We don't know yet how badly they're hurt. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra-long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed 1 sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
You know, 67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are 1 in itself, I know.
Great. I'll take 1 turkey tom, please.
Freak yeah, 1 turkey tom, on the way. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
Every business needs great people, and a better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just 1 day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit tastycatering.com. tastycatering.com.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The Department of Justice Inspector General's report confirms what we've been witnessing from Jim Comey for the better part of the last 2 years, which is that he is a conniving coward.
It's not what he said in his op-ed that he wrote to the New York Times.
No, but what's clear from this report, in many of its 568 pages, is that Jim Comey had a higher loyalty, to borrow a book title, to the political class than he did to the rule of law. And frankly, those rank-and-file field agents in his agency, the agency he directed, the FBI. Interestingly, on just the matter of email, since this largely centers around the Hillary Clinton email investigation, remember how Jim Comey, who, as David Harsanyi references in the Federalist, a good piece he has in the Federalist today about the report, Jim Comey's capricious idealism. That's a good way to describe Jim Comey. Whatever he's doing, even if it's in conflict with something he was doing or saying 5 seconds ago, it is appealing to something transcendental.
Right.
He's such a preening sop.
That's kind of the tone of his op-ed in the. Is it in today's
New York Times? Yeah.
Yeah, where he basically says this is all. He disagrees with some of the specific findings, but this is a good, healthy discussion for the FBI to be having. And then he continues to defend himself and just say, he wasn't sure he was right about the things he was doing at the time, like the 2016 press conference.
But he does know his heart is pure.
But his heart is pure. It's a tough job. It was difficult to make those decisions. He encouraged intensive review when he was at the FBI director, and he continues to support its work even after I was fired.
Jim Comey's heart is always pure. That's the one thing you get from Jim Comey. His actions, though, don't match that purity of motivation. Remember, he made a big show of this during the Hillary Clinton email investigation about her using a private email account. That was improper. The press conference in question, he provided chapter and verse and all the things that she did that were improper and wrong before saying she's not going to be prosecuted. But one of them was using a personal email. Hey, that's out of bounds. I've gotten some emails from employees about this, Comey said at the time. If I did what Hillary Clinton did, I'd be in trouble. My response was, you bet your ass you'd be in trouble. This is one example of a speech he gave in October of 2016. If you had used a personal email, Gmail, or if you had the capabilities to set up your own email domain, if you used an unclassified personal email system to do business in the course of doing our business, even though you were communicating with people with clearances and doing work, you discussed classified matters in those communications, you would be in huge trouble in the FBI. Huge trouble. The Department of Justice Inspector General's report finds Jim Comey used a personal Gmail account to conduct FBI business on numerous occasions when he was director of the Bureau.
Mm-hmm. But that's fine. Doesn't apply to him. The rules don't apply to him that he would have lambasted his own employees and said so had they used an unsecured.
Lambasted. They'd be in trouble. They'd be fired or facing criminal prosecution.
Yeah.
And this is a whole nother conversation about the guys like Comey and McCabe, who are just as much a part of the political ruling class as any member of Congress, and whether they are untouchable. They can do things that your mid-level staffer cannot do without getting prosecuted. Frankly, this is the same conversation we had about Hillary Clinton. A former U.S. senator, presidential candidate, can do things that a decorated general can't do without being prosecuted. So it's about political clout. It's not about the rule of law, I suppose. Also this, at the time, in July of 2016, the FBI told the press there was no evidence that a foreign power had hacked Hillary's server. The IG report, foreign actors obtained access to some of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails, including at least one email classified as secret.
Mm-hmm.
How about the 5 staffers, FBI agents, referred for that are referred in this report for further investigation? Strzok and Page, of course. But then you also have agents 1 through 5 as they're identified. There's messages back and forth. And this is, again, against the backdrop of everyone of the left claiming the headline should be DOJ Inspector General's report finds no evidence of bias in Hillary Clinton investigation. Well, then you read what's actually the banter between some of these agents, including but not limited to the lovebirds, Strzok and Page. For example, August 2016, Agent 1 and Agent 5 discussing their jobs. I find anyone who enjoys this job an absolute blanking idiot. If you don't think so, ask them one more question. Who are you voting for? I guarantee it will be Donald Drumpf. I forgot about Drumpf. That's so sad and pathetic if they want to vote for him, Agent 5 responded. Someone who can't answer a question, someone who can't be professional for even a second.
Mm-hmm.
No evidence of bias there. I would rather have brunch with Trump and a bunch of his supporters like the ones from Ohio that are retarded than spending time with his fellow agents.
No bias there.
No. They're retarded, the Trump supporters. There's more here, too. More misses between Agent 1 and Agent 5. November 8, 2016, Election Day. You should know that I'm with her.
Yeah, now these were instant messages between two agents who were dating at the time and are now married. So that might explain the casual nature. You know, they're in a relationship and exchanging information about the campaign.
Yes.
But he was Agent 1 was part of the group of agents who interviewed Hillary Clinton about the email during the email scandal, and he texts his then girlfriend at the time repeatedly about how they don't have anything on her. We shouldn't even be interviewing her.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. I'm being forced to do something to which I'm adamantly opposed. So they clearly had conclusions before they even interviewed the principal, Hillary Clinton herself.
The most meaningless thing I've ever done with people acting like this is effing 9/11. I don't care about it. I think it's a continued waste of resources and time and focus. It's just so obvious how pointless this exercise is.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you think that interview went down? I mean, when these are the conclusions being drawn before you even enter the room, do you think that they seriously questioned her to the extent that they would have if the situation were reversed and it were a member of the Trump team or Trump himself? Of course not. And that same agent, when he was deposed as part of the IG report that was just released, he said, "Oh, this was just a personal conversation. I was just venting. I'm embarrassed about it, but this is just banter on instant messaging." No, it's very revealing of the intent of these agents surrounding the whole investigation, which is really important.
Yeah, that's right, and it's some of the reactions to the report, are borderline comical, of course. Because Comey used a personal email just like Hillary. She trolls him on Twitter. Because both of them did it, it somehow becomes okay. I don't know. They apparently are not fifth grade graduates. And then Jennifer Palmieri, her comm director, it basically says, this IG report says Hillary would have won if not for Comey pulling Weiner's laptop. His laptop.
Stop it. I know what you did there.
11 days before the election. Listen to Palmieri.
It did confirm what I've always believed about Jim Comey, which was that he wasn't operating out of a political bias, but he did have a very dangerous, corrupting belief that because he wasn't motivated by partisanship, that he could use his own judgment to decide what actions were right to take, and that led him to act well beyond his role as the FBI director, and that he did so with devastating consequences. And there is a real hubris there to think just because you are not a political person that you can go above and beyond what your role is supposed to be. And, I think his original sin was the press conference that he had where he was Hillary Clinton's investigator and judge, jury, all at once. And he, as he once famously said, it's right there in our name, investigations. That's what we're supposed to do. And to act publicly as he did is not his role. And I think we're living every day. We live with the consequences of that.
The consequences, of course, she's saying Trump's victory. So they blame Comey. The interesting thing is, the left has a real problem. They can't figure out when and where to embrace Comey. during his book tour. Book
Right.
tour, they're celebrating him because Comey is part of attacking Donald Trump, and and his holdovers are still there doing their business that they started under Comey. So they embrace him there, but then he's responsible for Hillary Clinton winning the election. You could make a case. It's very difficult to pinpoint, but it's not implausible that his decision to reopen the case with the Wiener laptop 11 days before the election was impactful, if not determinative. The difference is people like me, conservatives like me, we wanted Jim Comey gone on day one regardless, because we saw this guy for the conniving political actor that he is, for the self-righteous simp that he is. The left, all they are, is kind of shifting sands. My opinion of Comey moves from day to day depending on my immediate interests. And so it's fun to watch like a Jennifer Palmieri try and twist herself in knots criticizing Jim Comey on the one hand, but
We're pretty grateful to him on
the
July
other.
5th, 2016
Yeah,
when
right.
he exonerated her. I think too, just this underlying premise that Hillary voters were really motivated by this last-minute Anthony Weiner reopening of the investigation, that was enough to pull votes off of Hillary Clinton in favor of Trump. No, I think it's further proof that there is still this tone deafness and of not understanding Trump voters, not seeing this coming. Nate Silver at 538 actually did a piece on whether or not the Comey letter impacted
Right.
the election, and he basically says, I mean, it's sort of indeterminative, but that she woke up on October 28th before the letter was released, or before he announced that he was reopening the investigation, and she was only up by 6 percentage points and really struggling in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. So it's not like this was so damaging. Even looking at the poll numbers, she wasn't really ahead that much at that
right.
moment.
And I mean, one of the things Comey did not do is prevent her from campaigning in Wisconsin and Michigan.
Sure.
That's not on him. But a question here, though, too. This report, this damning report on the FBI and to some extent Department of Justice. So does this now give Trump clearance to shut down Mueller?
No.
Because how can you trust what's happening now under the oversight of this Department of Justice, even with Sessions' recusal? Rod Rosenstein's a holdover. How can you trust it with all Christopher Wray as a Trump appointee? I get that. But with the agents and the culture, which is really described in detail in this IG report, the culture at FBI, how can you trust FBI and DOJ, a DOJ who has oversight responsibilities on Mueller? Does this give Trump clearance to shut down the special counsel investigation? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636-DA, turnkey.pro, text line. You say no.
No. I mean, I think it gives him more credibility. And from 18 months ago till now, when he has been tweeting about and raising doubts about this investigation and conflicts and leaks, and this is a triumph for him. But does this mean that he can now turn around and commit political suicide by firing Mueller? No.
You still think, even in light of this report, it's political
Yes.
suicide?
I mean, Mueller is still so. James Comey at one point we were all talking about how he was respected and independent, and so it does make me nervous because Mueller came in with that same reputation, both political parties supporting him. But no, I don't think under any circumstances Trump should fire Mueller.
I actually think he should not do that either. I think this gives him a lot more standing to do it. It vindicates him with the Comey firing in a significant way. But I think that this is all going your way. Your opponents are flailing. Don't interrupt.
Right, and whatever the Mueller investigation turns up, he has a greater case to cast doubt upon whatever the results are, but not letting him go.
Kevin in Northfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I think both you guys are being a little weak on the IG investigation. No one is making the main point, and the main point is this. If either of you two were in charge of the NBA or the baseball or the football, you never in a million years would allow all the refs who liked the Southern teams or all the refs who liked the National League. You wouldn't do that, and yet all the refs that are judging Hillary and judging Trump seem to be Hillary partisans, and we don't even hear their names. And the Justice Department and the FBI are not even handing over the emails. There were new emails in this report that we knew nothing about. Why did we know nothing about them? Because they weren't handed over. What are they, security issues? No, they're not. It's a deep state covering up, and I cannot believe that our institutions, which are supposed to be objective, justice is supposed to be blind. That lady, she's blind. She's not viewing one side or the other side. It's absolutely unbelievable, is what I say.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Yeah, Lady Justice under the last regime may still have the blindfold on, but they put a little "I'm with her" lapel sticker on her. Another name that was mentioned, and again, this is on the Department of Justice side. This is in Kim Strassel's column in the Journal. Former Assistant Attorney General Peter Kadzik was tipping off the Clinton campaign even as he took part in the investigation. The report, the IG report, finding Kadzik to have failed to strictly adhere to his recusal from the investigation, the same thing they found with Andy McCabe, the former deputy director of the FBI.
Was this the person who tipped off about the Podesta emails, or am I conflating here?
I think that's right.
So, I mean, that was another he was tipping off Podesta and the Hillary campaign about the drop that was about to come regarding the Podesta hack.
And then you had that another senior official at DOJ, Bruce Orr, whose wife was, doing consulting work on the Trump dossier.
Right.
I mean, but so there's dozens and dozens of people at high levels in the Department of Justice and FBI that are running cover for Hillary Clinton and seeking to undermine Donald Trump, or at minimum hoping to see Trump undermine. But there's nothing to see here. There's no bias. There's nothing wrong with the agencies.
Just a couple of bad apples.
Yeah.
Just that one text.
Yeah.
So there was just that one text of "we're going to stop him." No, there's actually a lot more.
I mean, this is these agencies were being run like the DNC or like an appendage of the DNC. That's a problem. And I think it calls into question the ongoing legitimacy, certainly of the FBI. Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good show, guys. Listen, this is a waste of time. But nothing is going to happen to the Clintons, and nothing is going to happen to Obama. Absolutely nothing. With this pure heart routine, this is the typical left. I said I was sorry. I'm apologetic. Nothing is going to happen. This is a waste of time. And I hate to use the cliche, but this is why Donald Trump won the election.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, Marty. I didn't mean to cut you off, but thanks for the call. Megan in Evanston.
Hey, guys. Good show. My point is, people say that Washington is tone deaf to the conservative voice. Great. I don't want them to understand me. They are never going to understand me. That's why they won, because they're isolated in their bubble. Let's forget about having them understand me. Don't care. I understand. We understand. End of story. Thanks.
Thanks, Megan. Jeff in Franklin Park.
Yeah, you already mentioned about the Comey obstruction of justice, but one person nobody's talking about is Flynn. Flynn should, repeal his plea and get that report unredacted and get all those agents to testify under oath. I mean, there's clear bias that put him in jail, or not in jail, but got him in trouble. He needs to get those people under oath and testify in his case.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. I think there's a lot of rumors about whether or not Flynn is going to withdraw his plea, and it's not so much that he doesn't believe that he can beat the Mueller charges against him, the lying to the FBI charge. It's that they are using his son as leverage against him, and he's trying to prevent his son from being prosecuted and going through what he's going through. That's my understanding. Candace in DuPage.
Oh, I agree with the last two callers for sure. But Kristen and Dan, I totally disagree with you. I think that he should fire them. And I think he should do it on prime time, and I think he should explain his actions, and I think he should encourage people to actually read the report, not listen to what Christopher Wray, and I think you should call Christopher Wray what he is, a hack. Okay? I think that he should fight like hell and get rid of them. And I think the American public will, of course, the regular people on ABC, CBS, NBC are going to have their meltdown. I think he should do it on a Monday, like Dan Bongino said. Don't do it on a Friday and try to hide it. Do it on a Monday and let it be a discussion for a whole week. But I think it'll die down a lot quicker than people think. And I also think President Trump should remind people what happened when the Clintons came in and they fired over 90% of the AGs across the country, and nobody said a thing.
U.S. attorneys, yeah. Thanks for the call, Candace. I got an idea. He could do it like in a boardroom setting. He could be at the head of the table, and then Mueller and his underlings could be around the table, and then he could say something like, "You're fired."
No, I still agree with your initial point that he's in a good position here, and the lack of credibility that this report is bringing about will help him no matter what happens down the road. And I just think it will borderline on obstruction if he fires Mueller, and he'll lose people who think the way you do.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Interested in trading as a way to generate extra monthly income? Listen up. Before you sign up for some garbage program or awkward in-person seminar, you really need to hear about the online trader program that everyone's talking about. This is the program that allows you to get your account funded with someone else's money. That's right. Apiary Fund will gladly put up to $100,000 of their money into your trading account. And the best part, you get to keep 85% of the profits without putting in a dime of your own money. Apiary Fund and this program are growing like crazy. As a special offer, Apiary Fund is allowing our listeners to get started for free. Just call 800-959-4526 and leave us your email address, and we will send you all the exciting details of how to trade Apiary Fund's money and not your own. Call 800-959-4526 and leave your email address on the voicemail. Your free report will be sent right away. 800-959-4526. That's 800-959-4526.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The Northwest Side GOP Club presents the Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet. Join them for their annual fundraiser and more, June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. This is a great opportunity for Chicago area Republicans to get together for an enjoyable evening of information, fellowship, and the promotion of conservative Republican values. The evening begins with a first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rock group Madison Rising and continues with networking, exhibitors, raffles, and a delicious banquet dinner with keynote speaker Dan Propp. From AM 560's The Morning Answer, recently appointed co-chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, Mark Shaw, will also speak on the role of conservatives within the Illinois Republican Party. Like any good conservative collective, the Ill-Advised event will offer attendees the opportunity to interact with local and national organizations, Republican candidates, and elected officials. Don't miss the Northwest Side GOP Club's Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet with first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rockers Madison Rising, exhibitors, Republican candidates, and elected officials. June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. Join them as a sponsor, exhibitor, presenter, or attendee. For tickets and complete information, visit il-advised.com. That's il-advised.com.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, a crashing economy. Are you ready? At best, your local stores have a 3-day supply of food. Will your family have to fight over what's left? Be wise and be ready with 25-year shelf life Wise Food Storage. Try it free. Order a no-obligation free sample meal, and for a limited time, get a 10% discount and free shipping on all orders. Call for your free sample now. 800-787-1010. 800-787-1010. AM 560, The Answer.
Stop staring at me and other policies and procedures at Netflix. In the Me Too era, Netflix is leading the way. We'll discuss at 6:36, but now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Sunrise in Chicago. Nice day shaping up, but warmth is on the way. We'll tell you how warm in just a moment. We'll start at the White House, where a government watchdog report reaffirms President Trump's suspicions about the conduct of former FBI Director James Comey and the behavior of some members of the FBI. The report by the Justice Department Inspector General, highly critical of the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton email investigation. The president tweeting this morning that the IG report is a total disaster for James Comey. FBI Director Christopher Wray says the agency will take action to address issues raised in that report.
We're going to adhere to the appropriate disciplinary process. And once that process is complete, we won't hesitate to hold people accountable for their actions.
A Justice Department Inspector General singled out former FBI Director Comey for criticism. Florida roller coaster ride that left 6 hurt has been at the Daytona Beach Boardwalk for 5 years, but its history is much longer and deeper than that. The ride is called the Sandblaster. It opened in the park in 2013, but at that point, several newspaper reports say it's already more than 40 years old. Last year, the Florida Department of Agriculture issued a stop operation order on that ride. 1 person is confirmed dead, 3 are wounded. It happened after a shooting in the parking lot of a dentist office near Denver. Congressman Steve Scalise is back on the baseball field 1 year after he was nearly killed, assassinated, when a gunman from Illinois opened fire on a GOP congressional baseball practice. This morning, Kellogg's is voluntarily recalling Honey Smacks cereal due to a possible link to a multi-state salmonella outbreak. The CDC says the puffed wheat cereal is likely source of the outbreak that has sickened 73 in 31 states. Right now, 24 have been hospitalized. 1 man is dead, another wounded following a shooting on Chicago's far south side. Police tell us the pair were shot last night in the 1300 block of West 108th. Jury deliberations wrapped up late last night with a guilty verdict. The trial of a man charged with first-degree murder in the February 2014 death of an SIU Carbondale student from the Chicago suburbs. 23-year-old Gagey Bethune of El Dorado, Illinois, is accused of striking 19-year-old Pravin Verghese several times, driving off, which led to his death from hypothermia after the pair drove around Carbondale looking for cocaine. Cubs and Cardinals tonight at Busch. Indians beat the White Sox 5-2. There's a 4-way tie on top of the leaderboard after a nearly disastrous day 1 of the U.S. Open. Piercy, Poulter, Russell Henley, Dustin Johnson all shot a 1 under 69. And host country Russia, a 5-0 rout of Saudi Arabia in day 1, game 1 of the World Cup. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says the left has ruined yet another event.
So the latest is the Miss America pageant. They are dropping the swimsuit competition and the evening gown competition. See, what a major factor of the left is fear of life, fear of reality.
These people are to the right of the religious right.
We don't want any thoughts of sin.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
It is 6:37. Just get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Glendale Heights, North Avenue is closed in both directions now between Bloomingdale Road and Glen Ellen Road. This is for major crash cleanup and investigation. In Hinsdale and Oak Brook, northbound 83 is jammed from 55th to 31st. The roadway is blocked. Police responding to a situation there. Eden's inbound, 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 29 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. Eisenhower, 46 minutes from 390 to the Circle, outbound 30. Stevenson, 52 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 52. Jammed First Avenue, LaGrange Road, car fire in the left lane. Ryan, 23 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Lowe's. If you're active or veteran U.S. military personnel, Lowe's would like to honor your service by offering you 10% savings every day on purchases you make in-store or online. For details, visit lowes.com/military. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Warm, more humid. Clouds and sunshine will hang around throughout the day, high 88. Air quality will be a little bit on the unhealthy side for some sensitive groups overnight, low 74. And hot and humid tomorrow, high 93, high 95 on Sunday, with heat indexes on Sunday up around 103. And the heat continues into Monday, hot and humid. And the heat breaks with a late afternoon shower or thunderstorm and a high of 93. Currently 68. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning is Kristen McQuarrie. She of the Chicago Tribune Ed Board. Amy's Peyton, Amy J's Peyton, is being released from his CPS Reeducation Center today.
I got to hit the button.
Yeah.
Sorry. Such an amateur. Is it the last day of school for CPS?
Graduation.
Graduation
for the
for
young man.
like 8th grade, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I graduated from 8th grade.
I did too. You know, it was
I
not
don't know
a
why we're making such a big
I
deal
know.
about it.
I was going to say my neighborhood, everybody has graduation parties. Like so I got to like write $50 checks to everyone for graduating
Isn't
from
that
8th
that sort of
grade.
like low expectations?
I
Like you're
mean,
celebrating
yeah.
that? It's like
I
you
didn't
should say
even
to your
have-
kid, yeah, now it's starting to get serious when you graduate high school. Also not having a graduation
Right.
party.
I
I'll
don't-
tell you when you do something worth celebrating.
Very sure I did not have even a high school graduation party.
That's a prop parenting tip. That's a freebie I threw in on a Friday. So speaking of re-education, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, has ordered political bias training for FBI agents, despite the fact that the left is trying to claim that the IG's report says there was no evidence of political bias.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, so that is interesting, isn't it? And what I'm thinking here is maybe we can do a combo. Maybe the FBI field agents can just go over to Netflix and they can throw in some sexual harassment, Me Too training as well. Have you seen the new?
Great.
Have you
This
seen the
is
new
great.
Netflix policies?
You stared at me for more than 5 seconds.
I was just
I'm
sort of a
recording
glance.
you.
It was a glance.
I counted. That was 7 seconds.
So I try to apply when I'm looking at somebody, gazing at somebody.
Again, 7 seconds.
I applied the same rule I apply to my dog Hayek, which is, so if I stare at him too long, he starts to growl at me. So if a woman starts to growl at me, then I stop looking.
Okay.
So,
And
if,
how
if
many
it becomes
seconds does it
uncomfortable,
usually take?
well, it doesn't take 5.
Okay.
It's usually much quicker. The Netflix new anti-harassment, obviously, policy at Netflix that, one can only hope will sweep businesses big and small across the fruited plains. For example, as Kristen was alluding to, you cannot look at anyone in the Netflix workspace for longer than 5 seconds. It's considered creepy.
Right. Yeah. So if you're on a set or you're surrounded by coworkers, there's a 5-second rule of making eye contact, and then you have to avert your gaze.
You mustn't ask for someone's number unless they have given permission for it to be distributed. You mustn't ask for somebody's phone number unless they've given permission for it to be distributed. Well, how do you know if you have permission if you don't ask?
Right. And then if they say no, you're not allowed to ask again. So
You get one ask.
You get one ask, and then you can't communicate
What if
anymore.
the person changes their mind but is a
Nope.
little bit reticent? So you,
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Other rules at Netflix and perhaps a workplace near you include don't give lingering hugs or touch anyone for a lengthy period of time. All right.
That's a good general rule.
Yeah,
I would say, at the
exactly.
workplace.
Yeah, even outside of Netflix, that's a good rule.
Yes, it is.
Don't ask out a colleague more than once if they've said no. So you can't ask a colleague out more than once. You can't ask for a phone number, whether it's for romantic purposes or generally.
Right. I just need to text you about tomorrow's schedule. Nope.
I have not
Sorry.
given you my permission.
That's correct.
Steer clear of a colleague once they've said they're not interested in you. Yeah, okay. Don't flirt. Well, who's the arbiter of that? Are they going to have like a flirting czar at Netflix? Who are the?
So.
How do you arbitrate these things? Also, the rules encourage employees to shout, "Stop! Don't do that again."
If you're feeling harassed, stop. Don't do that again. It's actually in quotes. That is the specific phrase that they would like their.
Shout it in the workplace.
So, ask me for my phone number.
I'm not.
Stop.
Not falling into
Don't
that
do
trap.
that again. Oh, see, you just stared at me again. 7 seconds. You're breaking the rule.
People are going to want to be replaced by robots. Now, Netflix responding to the people ridiculing their policies. We're proud of the anti-harassment training we offer to our productions. We want every Netflix production to be safe and to be a safe and respectful working environment, including the Obamas. We believe the resources we offer empower people on our sets to speak up and shouldn't be trivialized. That's another rule. You're not allowed to trivialize their rules.
There's one article that compares this to, second grade dating where you'd pass a note and say, "Do you like Jane?" Circle yes or no. And in this case,
You can't pass that
if
note more than
Steve-
once.
Right. If Steve says, "Jane, would you like to go to a movie?" and Jane says, "No, thanks." Now Steve can never talk to Jane again.
I mean, this has been happening on college campuses for some time. It's not surprising this would be at these philosophically socialist, PC-addled tech companies. But is this happening in your workspace? Is this happening down at the local ironworkers union? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, the smelting facility you work at. Are you going through the Don't Flirt Netflix training?
Sexual harassment training.
What about the Tribune?
I have never had to go through training, but like I was saying earlier, we do have this kind of contract we have to sign every year about, behavior and what's accepted and ethics. And, I just had to pay you for my McDonald's breakfast because I don't want anybody thinking that you just bought me breakfast.
Yeah, oh heavens.
So, but no sexual harassment training yet. I'm sure it's coming, though.
So it's not a rule. It's just sort of an unwritten rule that no one is allowed to look directly at John Cass. You have to avert your eyes in his presence.
That is correct. Yes. Huh. Well, and he's such a gentleman. None of this would apply to him.
Well, obviously.
He always talks to me and looks past my left ear. He never makes eye contact.
Just looks straight up at the ceiling.
Yes.
That's what everybody's going to have to do now.
Just blindfold everybody. Just be in a workspace.
No, because then there's going to be touching that you run into people accidentally. You have to just stay in place and address people by looking straight up at the ceiling.
There's nothing strange
no
about
eye
that.
contact. And when you address people too, you have to make sure that it's not flirting. So you have to have just endless
Monotone.
Conversations about the weather
Yes.
or your favorite baseball team.
Right.
I mean, it's like a Lego movie, basically.
Yes, it is.
Frank and Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, I don't know if you, comparing the two speeches, you got Chris Wray and you got Mr. Schultz from Starbucks.
Yeah.
They use the same script.
Yeah. A
We've
comment.
got a couple bad apples, and because of that, now we're going to make it all better because everybody's going to get trained. Nobody really did anything, so why are we going to spend a couple $1 million to train them for something that nobody did anything wrong?
Yeah, it's confusing. These are confusing times, Frank. Thanks for the call. Zach in Downers Grove.
Yeah, I really think these rules are one-sided. I think the person that has the number needs to give permission to the person to ask for the number.
The person who has the number has to give permission.
So
right.
you just have to sense that someone might want your number and then offer it.
Yeah, but if you sense that someone might want your number and you're wrong, doesn't that constitute improper flirting?
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just don't talk then is what you're saying. Don't talk
Pretty
and don't
much.
look at anybody.
Just sign language and blindfolds.
Thanks for the call, Zach. Yeah, all right.
And at Starbucks, it was unconscious bias training.
Yeah,
right.
Which we know is pablum, scientific poppycock, including the founders of this implicit bias test. They concede the point that the results are not replicable, thus it has no scientific value.
Yeah, I just like the phrasing. Sort of like when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin decoupled. They didn't want to use the D word. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So it's unconscious bias training. What is Netflix? Are they calling it sexual harassment training?
Yeah, anti-harassment rules.
Anti-harassment rules. Okay.
When they decoupled, when Gwyneth Paltrow and that D-bag from not Maroon 5,
Chris
Coldplay.
Martin from Coldplay.
Yeah,
I like him.
Aren't they the same band?
No.
Did they split the apple?
Oh, that's so mean.
Mike on the north side.
Good morning. I just wanted to say this political correct nonsense is getting a little out of hand. Even yesterday at the Admiral Theater, if you went to see Stormy Daniels, they wouldn't let you in unless you brought your lawyer and a satchel of cash.
Okay.
I can't sing anymore. Can you believe she made me sign a confidentiality agreement?
That's just.
But this is just to take your eye off the big picture. All they're stealing. Look at the shiny thing here. We're building a tunnel. Forget about all this other stuff.
Yeah, are you excited about the tunnel?
No, not at all. I would have liked if somebody from the Tribune or the Scum Times would have held Emmanuel's feet to the fire and say, hey, how about these kids that are being sexually assaulted? What are you going to do about that? And don't try crying the crocodile tears. We already fell for that with Daley.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Well, we'll get to that. I mean, you got on that story in particular, you have to give the Tribune a lot of credit. Loath as we are to do such things, but we'll talk about it.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street bracing for a quadruple witching day. Microsoft offers a new tool to battle Amazon. New insurance policies for Uber riders. Those stories next.
How much do you spend on your pest control each year? $200, $300, or even $500 or more? What if I said you could spend less than $25 a year, even less with promo code SAVE20? Then listen up. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free. And yes, it is possible to rid your home or business of unwanted pests for less than $25 per year. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. Our best seller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair income. For just a one-time cost of only $249, even less with promo code SAVE20, you'll be pest-free for years to come. Log on to gopestfree.com today. Use promo code SAVE20 and start driving those pests away. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com. That's gopestfree.com. Promo code SAVE20.
There may be extra volatility on Wall Street today. The trading phenomenon known as quadruple witching day occurs on the third Friday of each quarter. 4 types of securities contracts expire, which often leads to high trading volumes. Microsoft says it's developing new automated checkout technology to help retailers compete with Amazon. Microsoft says its cloud technology will help brick-and-mortar retailers even the playing field. Insurance underwriter Chubb partnering with startup company Sure to allow passengers to buy accidental death and dismemberment and medical coverage for rides on Uber and Lyft. Now that is an uplifting thought. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Everything big city Dem mayors like Rahm Emanuel do is for the kids, they tell us with ersatz earnestness. Rahm, Tiny Dancer I call him, is quick to take up cause celebs like the Parkland High School Gun Control Brigade in the name of school safety. What Rahm and his leftist colleagues won't do is change school systems run by the adults for the adults, even when some of those adults are child predators. In a blockbuster expose, the Chicago Tribune documented a long-running sex abuse scandal inside the Chicago public schools that should end Tiny Dancer's career, should be international news on par with the coverage given the Catholic Church's scandal, and that should serve as a warning to public school parents across the country. According to the Tribune, since Tiny Dancer was elected in 2011, 430 reports of sexual abuse have been investigated, with credible evidence of misconduct found in 230 of those incidents. Worse yet, the story identified repeated failures to screen out Chicago public schools employees with prior arrests related to alleged sexual offenses involving children. A lot of attention is devoted to holding Pauls and their appointees accountable for threats to kids in school that come from the outside. What about the threats they welcome inside and cover for?
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and I'm impressed with the MyPillow mattress topper. There's 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night, not too cold or too hot. Don't wait to get yours, because in June, you'll save 30%. Plus, when you buy a mattress topper at a discount, you can also get 2 free standard MyPillows. That's an unbelievable offer. 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off a mattress topper. Or get 1 low price on 2 MyPillows and receive free shipping. But you have to use the promo code Amy. There's a 10-year warranty on pillows and mattress toppers and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for these great deals and others, including 30% off pet beds, sheets, and more. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy. MyPillow.com, that's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
The following is a paid announcement.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Retire with Confidence.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on helping couples in their late 50s to early 60s retire with confidence. So, Bill, what is the biggest challenge that you see successful couples face when planning for retirement?
How am I going to pay my bills every month? And it's a long time. We could be in retirement 20, 25, or 30 years. That's the really big deal in retirement. Where do you get the income from to supplement your Social Security?
Bill, how do we create this income?
You take part of the growth portfolio and you create an income strategy with it. And that income strategy is designed to create dependable, sustainable income that couples can count on for the rest of their life. Mike, let's do something special for the next 5 callers who call in who have at least $500,000 in their portfolio. We're going to sit down with them personally and help them put together a full-blown plan for their retirement.
Folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm looking at you. You wore green so you could hide. I don't blame you. You're a tramp. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, that was right where you wanted it. Oh, Mrs. Crane, you're a little monkey woman, you know that? You're a little monkey woman. You're lean, and you're mean, and you're not too far between either, I bet, are you, huh? Would you like to wrap your spikes around my head?
Carl Speckler could not work at Netflix.
No.
That's the kind of thing that's a good example. It could be part of the training video of what you're not allowed to do, even from a distance.
Right, at Netflix, which also I think you can't you like watch naughty movies on Netflix? Suddenly they're so, holier than thou, but I'm pretty sure you can still watch porn.
That's sort of the funny thing about the left, right? I mean, they're, totally on board for Caligula, Caligula, but that when it comes to, asking for somebody's number in an office setting, there you have people jumping out of the window. A fun text from a friend of mine who works at a big law firm. Part of their, anti-harassment training, whatnot. You can imagine what a law firm is like, probably not dissimilar from Netflix. One of the more memorable lines from the training he had to go through. When the young associate smiles at you, it's because you're a partner. You're old and gross. She doesn't like you. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk to our friend Brett Baer at 7:07. We'll talk about the findings and that DOJ Inspector General report, of course. We'll also get an update on Charles Krauthammer's condition from Brett, hopefully. That's at 7:07. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Outside, we have a hot and steamy condition for the weekend. The National Weather Service says that heat wave will roll in this afternoon. Mayor Emanuel and Elon Musk unveil their high-speed rail service plans. Cubs are at the Cardinals this weekend, while the Indians beat the White Sox. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
A total disaster for Comey. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that about the Inspector General report that it concluded Comey, the former FBI director, was insubordinate in his handling of the Hillary Clinton investigation. The president adding, he did a great service to the people firing Comey. The report also says anti-Trump sentiment put a cloud over the probe. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more Reaction Live.
While that 500-page report is critical of Comey, it found no evidence of political bias toward either candidate. On Fox and Friends, President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said the report was just one more reason to end the Russia probe.
I mean, the IG report basically tells you that both prongs of the Mueller investigation are either corrupt or answered.
The report also outlined that anti-Trump sentiment, those texts between an FBI agent and a colleague. It said cast a cloud over that investigation into Clinton's emails, but that they didn't affect the investigation itself. Dave.
Tony, the U.S. has taken out a terror leader in a drone strike yesterday. The Afghan defense minister reports Pakistan's Taliban chief Mullah Fazlullah was killed, though he's been reported dead several times before. He's infamous for ordering the assassination attempt on Malala Yousafzai, the teenage girl who later won a Nobel Prize for her push for female education. Shots fired at a parking lot in Westminster, Colorado last night left a boy dead, his mother and brother in critical condition.
He was running back and I called him. I said, come here, come here, come here. And he said, I want to go over there. My mom just got shot.
A fourth person was wounded. Police say the suspected gunman is in custody. A nightmare of a roller coaster ride at Daytona Beach, Florida's boardwalk. It derailed last night.
We heard a loud crash and looked over, and the cart was just facing down, and we just heard everybody screaming.
Two of the riders fell 34 feet to the ground. They and four others were hospitalized. We don't know how badly they're injured. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
66 degrees, clouds and sunshine to start the morning. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. Search is underway for a mother and two children reported missing in Chicago's West Humboldt Park neighborhood. This morning, police say LaTanya Barnett was last seen near Division and Pulaski. She's believed to be traveling with her 1-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter. This morning, cereal giant Kellogg's is voluntarily recalling Honey Smacks cereal sold at a store near you due to a possible link to a multi-state salmonella outbreak. The CDC says the puffed wheat cereal is likely the source of the outbreak that sickened 73 in 31 states. 24 have been hospitalized. Northern Illinois, bracing for a heat wave. An excessive heat watch goes into effect for Chicago and the suburbs tomorrow morning, lasting until Monday night. Temps will tower through the upper 90s. No one is in custody after a 12-year-old girl was killed, a man wounded in a shooting on Chicago's west side in the 4200 block of West Wilcox. In another shooting, a man is dead, another wounded. It happened last night in the 1300 block of West 108th. Mayor Emanuel says building that underground high-speed rail service is the fast lane to Chicago's future. The mayor and billionaire Elon Musk unveiled plans yesterday to create that express transit tunnel system between the Loop and O'Hare. The city is releasing transcripts of what Mayor Emanuel and Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said when they testified in the wrongful death lawsuit against a Chicago police officer. AM 560's David Stewart has read the transcripts.
The jury for the lawsuit filed by Quintonio Lagrier's family against Officer Robert Rialmo has been seated, so the city has released the Emanuel and Johnson transcripts. In his testimony, Emanuel discussed his meetings with Lagrier's parents to offer his support in the days after the 19-year-old was shot by Rialmo. Johnson's testimony included his denial that there is a police code of silence, which is consistent with what he said previously, but which contradicts statements Emanuel has made. The 6 men and 8 women on the jury, including 2 alternates, could hear opening statements Monday. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The second black justice on the Illinois Supreme Court's 170-year history is preparing to take the oath of office. Scott Neville Jr. will be sworn in today. The announcement made yesterday. Neville will replace retiring Justice Charles Freeman. The 84-year-old was the first black to serve the high court. His career spanned 27 years. Neville will serve until 2020. Then the seat will be up for election for another 10-year term. Cardinals are at Busch to take on the Cardinals, or the Cubs are at Busch to take on the rival Cardinals tonight. Indians beat the White Sox 5-2. Sox and Tigers start a 3-game set tonight. The news is a service of Sherwin-Williams. Now is the perfect time to bring color home. Ask Sherwin-Williams and save 40% on paints and stains during the 4-day super sale, June 15th through the 18th. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. 7:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity says the collusion investigation could have been much easier.
Why didn't they ever go to the Trump campaign? And if James Comey was so upset in the spring of 2016, why didn't James Comey go to President Trump and say, look, we're watching this guy. He's associated with your campaign. Boom. Case over. Close up shop, Robert Mueller.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for your daughter. With summer vacation right around the corner, now is a great time to register your son or daughter for summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful region of southeast Wisconsin. It's a time to refocus from the distractions of life and explore the potentials in many areas of life. There's Camp St. John's Northwestern with 4 one-week sessions of outdoor activities for 10 to 16-year-olds and summer school for 5 weeks to recover credits or get ahead for full credit. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp is happening now, as well as the year-round school application process. Hurry, space is limited. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
7:07. And a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Glendale Heights, North Avenue is closed between Bloomingdale Road and Glen Ellen Road. Crash cleanup and investigation. In Hinsdale and Oakbrook, northbound 83 is jammed. 55th to 31st, the roadway is blocked. Emergency responders dealing with the situation there. Northbound Tri-State, heavy Archer to LaGrange Road from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow 63rd to Maple and Roosevelt to St. Charles. Edens runs 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 17 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 25 minutes to the airport. On Eisenhower, got a crash before St. Charles in the left lane. 52 minutes, 390 to downtown. 38 from Manheim, outbound 32 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on an hour with a car fire at LaGrange Road. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat watch in effect tomorrow morning through Monday evening. More humid day with clouds and sun, high 88. Tonight, air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups. It will be very warm and humid, partly cloudy with a low of 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
70 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Damian. Let's get in for Amy this morning. I should mention is Kristen McQuarrie, Chicago Tribune editorial board member. Kristen, let's get right to it. We've got our friend Brett Baier, Fox News anchor, special report, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Also the author of the new book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Brett, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Before we get to the IG report, I just obviously wanted to ask about Charles Krauthammer after he released that poignant letter a week ago, and what your conversations with him have been like, a reaction to the letter that he released.
Yeah, I mean, it took my breath away. I knew probably 10 days maybe before that, and just the cancer that they thought they got came back in a aggressive form, and as only Charles could do, he eloquently is leaving this life.
Yeah.
So I kind of encourage them to put out something to let viewers and readers know ahead of time, so that he could see how much influence he's had in the world and in the U.S. and the love for him. And I think that has happened. I mean, I've seen a lot of op-eds and letters and all kinds of outpourings. So I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, no question. The letter was so elegant, as of course Krauthammer is, but I love the line that, basically, I lived the life I wanted to live. I'm going to miss it, but I lived the life I wanted to live.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that special that I did with Charles about his life and around the book that he had, Things That Matter. You can watch it online. It's you just see a guy who's done everything he could possibly do in amazing circumstances as a quadriplegic after that accident in medical school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. I mean, so I didn't realize this until I read more about him, but it was a diving accident while he was in med school, and he was in the hospital for 14 months, but came back, finished, went on to become a psychiatrist, and then, of course, had his writing, author, Pulitzer Prize-winning career after that.
Yeah. I mean, it was his freshman year, his first year of medical school, Harvard Medical School. Dove into a pool that wasn't filled all the way, broke his neck, and then finished with that class at the top of the class at Harvard Medical School.
Well, switching gears to this Inspector General report, want to get your take on this. Kim Strassel, who's, of course, on Fox routinely, she summed up this 568-page report in 2 words, insubordination and bias. I think you could add a few more words, uninterested, improper gifts, intimidated by Hillary's lawyers, but insubordination and bias seem to be the top lines. What was your take?
Well, I think what happened yesterday is that the initial, spin of it was that at 30,000 feet they didn't find documented bias in actions by the FBI, but listed a number of things, especially Jim Comey's actions, that were a problem. As you looked at it longer, and as you really got into the 568 pages, there's a lot of things in there that are really damning. The Strzok texts with Lisa Page, the another 2 FBI agents who are talking about the resistance of fighting, President Trump. The fact that Hillary Clinton's emails definitively were captured by foreign agents of some kind. The fact that she was emailing President Obama while in a foreign hostile territory using her BlackBerry, and the fact that Obama was receiving these emails from an email server that was private, and then said to 60 Minutes that he didn't know about it until the press knew about it. There were so many little nuggets that, if you just delve in there, are pretty damning.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. Is that the media, especially left media, keeps focusing on just the one Strzok text saying, we're not going to allow him to become president. We'll stop this. But there's the entire quilt here of all of these instances just reveal that there was in fact bias. So that I think argument can be thrown out the door. What do you think about some calls like from Rudy Giuliani and others that this gives the president leverage to actually fire Mueller?
Yeah, I think that's a dangerous road to go down, and once he does, it opens up another, Pandora's box of actions up on Capitol Hill. I think that they're obviously going to use this, and I think if you look into the IG report, there's also a tease of what's to come. This is the Hillary Clinton email investigation. There's another IG report that's coming of the beginning part of the Trump investigation, and then. And there are indications in here that he's kind of laying the groundwork for what's to come. And so I know it's frustrating to people who watch these things, the investigations of the investigations, that it never seems to end and no one seems to be held accountable. But I do think that this is kind of a blueprint for down the road.
Yeah, that no one ever seems to be held accountable is the real rub, I think. And it's And in Jim Comey here, we have another instance with the lecturing about Hillary Clinton improperly using a private email and saying, boy, anybody who does that in FBI, they'd be in big trouble, and they know it as long as I'm the sheriff in this town. And then, of course, we find out he was using his Gmail account to conduct FBI business. I mean, it's so, and it's very much like the McCabe thing. McCabe can illegally leak and arguably illegally leak and no prosecution, perhaps. This Senate intel staffer illegally leaks classified info. He's getting prosecuted. Hillary Clinton doesn't get prosecuted. A three-star general does get prosecuted. Sort of the capriciousness of law enforcement.
And Washington. I mean, this is why people hate Washington. For one of many reasons. The other thing is the nugget in here that these FBI folks in their dealings with the press were getting kind of kickbacks for helping, leak. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
we've been really Wizards tickets or something.
Yeah, we're really missing out. We've had people ask that. I work for the Chicago Tribune, and I mean, we have to sign a contract every year that's very specific about no dinners. You have to disclose any outside sources of income. That just doesn't really happen, I feel like, in credible news organizations. So I was surprised that there's even some defense of that among the media that, well, this is what you have to do to get the scoop in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I must have missed out.
Speaking of scoops, real quickly before we let you go, you had this great interview with Trump on Air Force One about his summit with Kim Jong-un this week. And, so give us a little flavor of what it's like to be on Air Force One for, the common folk out here in the hustings.
So obviously covering the White House for in the Bush administration, I'd been on Air Force One many times, but it came out of the blue. We were kind of seeing if something would happen, materialize. They said, can you get to Air Force One? We worked the logistics, and we made it happen, which was not easy. But it's really interesting to see you see always the shot of him going up the stairs, but just to see it from the inside of him walking up the stairs and kind of walking in, and then down the hallway to a conference room where we did the interview. And what was really surprising, and I guess, and I talked about it at the beginning, was he was on 26 hours of being up, and he's 72 as of yesterday. The energy of this president, no matter what you feel about him, he is nonstop.
He is Bret Baier. He's the Fox News anchor. Special report, 5 p.m. weekdays in Chicago. And the book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too. And he joined us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your weather forecast today, warm and humid with clouds and sunshine, high of 88 degrees. Tonight dropping to 74, and tomorrow shooting all the way up to 93 degrees. Let's get a check of the roads with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, Dan. Glendale Heights North Avenue is still closed eastbound from Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road after a major crash and ongoing investigation. In Hinsdale and Oak Brook, northbound 83 is jammed. 55th to 31st, The roadway is blocked there with police dealing with the situation. Eden's not too heavy. 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. Eisenhower, there was a crash before St. Charles. It's gone now. 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 35 from Manheim. Outbound 32 to 390. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound, it's 50. A car fire at LaGrange Road's now been put out and cleared out of the way. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-state delays are northbound. Archer to LaGrange Road. From Stevenson to 31st, that's from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The Adams and Reagan Tollways are fine. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow 75th to Maple and Roosevelt to St. Charles. All clear in northwest Indiana and southern Wisconsin. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
How much do you spend on your pest control each year? $200, $300, or even $500 or more? What if I said you could spend less than $25 a year, even less with promo code RADIO20? Then listen up. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and yes, it is possible to rid your home or business of unwanted pests for less than $25 per year. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. Our best seller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair dinkum. For just a one-time cost of only $249, even less with promo code RADIO20, you'll be pest-free for years to come. Log on to gopestfree.com today. Use promo code RADIO20 and start driving those pests away. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com. That's gopestfree.com, promo code RADIO20.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Don't miss the Father's Day sale at your local Ace. Save $100 or more on what Dad really wants. That's right. Save $100 or more on select gifts from Traeger, Craftsman, and DeWalt. The best brands for dad under one roof. And with so many great gifts at your neighborhood Ace, Father's Day shopping has never been easier. Hurry in for the Father's Day sale right now at Ace. Offers valid on select items through June 18th at participating stores only. See store for details.
Napa know-how.
Your broken AC may not be broken. It may just need a recharge with the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Just $39.99 plus an additional $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Just pull the trigger and brrr. The Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Now $39.99 plus $15 prepaid Visa card. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/18.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Kristen McCreary in for Amy, and no bigger defender on the Hill, at least on the Republican side of the aisle, of the FBI than one Trey Gowdy. And here's what outgoing Congressman Gowdy had to say about the FBI report into all of the D.C. press corps spin we were discussing just a moment ago with Brett Baer.
Just what a dark day it is for the FBI and the DOJ, two institutions our country desperately needs. We desperately have to be able to have confidence in them. And this level of bias and animus, not only did he want to stop the Trump campaign, he wanted to stop the Trump presidency. This is an FBI. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was on Hillary Clinton's investigation and arguably the lead Russia investigator, not only wanted to stop his campaign, but once he won, got on the Mueller probe because he wanted to impeach him. That is a level of animus and bias that everyone should reject. And Chris Wray, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Chris, there are consequences. The consequences are that your fellow citizens question whether or not they can have confidence in the world's premier law enforcement agency, and that's coming from somebody who's defended him a lot throughout his career. This was a bitterly disappointing report.
So the question is, what should Trump do about it? Christopher Wray, the current FBI director, Trump appointee, is going to send agents to political bias training. That doesn't seem like enough. And so he could. There's two options. I mean, he can, tweet about it and celebrate sort of some level of vindication from this report with respect to how he was treated and has been treated by Comey and Comey's FBI. Or he could come before the public, maybe a national address, talk about the importance of the FBI and the Department of Justice, and offer concrete steps that he personally is going to take or is going to make sure are taken to restore the credibility of the FBI and the Department of Justice that has been lost through this saga of the end of the Obama administration into his administration.
Somehow I don't think that's going to be Trump's response. I think we're going to see a lot of Twitter traffic. But I do think that this has been just a huge triumph for him, perhaps bigger than passing tax reform or the North Korean summit. He has been tweeting and talking about this for about roughly a year, maybe longer. And with every tweet where he took a shot at DOJ or took a shot at James Comey, the hysteria of the media has been aimed at him, that he is dismantling one of our fine institutions, that he is democracy is threatened because he was raising questions about all of these issues: leaks, bias, unequal treatment. He's been right.
Yes.
So I think he's in a good position, and he should not fire James Comey or
fire Mueller. I mean.
I'm sorry, fire Mueller. He should just enjoy this position that he's in right now, and then whatever the Mueller investigation does reveal, this gives him a lot more leverage to question the results of that.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about just his personal vindication on the topic, because he's not president of the United States, so he can just say, "I told you so. I was right. Yay for me."
That's what he will do.
It's supposed to be improving the conditions, draining the swamp, making life better for Americans, pursuing smart public policy. And the difference between conservatives and the left is we respect law enforcement as a matter of course. We want law enforcement agencies to be places of integrity across the board. We're not like Adam Schiff, who only likes the FBI when they're investigating my political opponent. There's a big difference. And so it seems to me, as a law and order guy, that Trump has presented himself to be as a candidate and as president. Think about immigration policy, border security, for example. This seems to me a great opportunity to be a builder, to be a constructive influence inside the Beltway that he said he was going to be that difference maker, that disruptor inside the Beltway that he said he was going to be, rather than just doing what the punditocracy will do, kind of go back and forth and spinning and say, yeah, Trump is right, and spike the football. Spiking the football doesn't get you very far.
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do to improve do you want him to fire Wray? Do you want him to institute policies, push Congress
I think
to hold FBI to a higher standard? What do you want?
I think there needs to be personnel changes and policy changes. And I think, a big meeting with Wray where they talk about the senior leadership and the culture in the FBI, and, they agreed to some concrete steps that involve personnel changes and policy changes to drive culture change. And the same thing at DOJ with Sessions and Rosenstein. I think it's important for him to take a personal interest in the future credibility of these institutions. We'll discuss that and, of course, the outcomes likely from the new relationship between Kim Jong-un and President Trump with Jed Babin of the American Spectator and the Washington Times at 7:37. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Sun and clouds, 70 degrees, 7:31. President Trump is tweeting about the Justice Department's Inspector General report on the FBI's handling of the Clinton email investigation. The president this morning called that report a disaster for former FBI Director James Comey, as well as what Trump called his minions, current FBI Director Christopher Wray.
Nothing in this report impugns the integrity of our workforce as a whole or the FBI as an institution.
A Justice Department Inspector General accused the Bureau of mishandling the Clinton probe and singled out Comey for criticism. A Trump assistant is leaving the administration for a federal government promotion. White House says a senior assistant press secretary, Kelly Love, is leaving her position in the White House for a senior position with the Department of Energy. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is expected to plead not guilty and ask a judge not to revoke bail when he's arraigned. Manafort and a Russian businessman face charges of witness tampering. There's good news for those living near the raging wildfire in southwest Colorado. The 416 fire near Durango has scorched 32,000 acres and is only 18% contained, but authorities this morning say they're allowing some to return to their homes and their businesses. A search is underway for a mother and two children reportedly last seen in Chicago's West Humboldt Park neighborhood. LaTanya Barnett was last seen Sunday near Division and Pulaski. No one is in custody after a 12-year-old girl was killed, a man wounded in a shooting on Chicago's west side. In northern Illinois, it's bracing for a heat wave. Northwest Indiana will also be impacted by an excessive heat watch that goes into effect tomorrow morning and lasts until Monday evening. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the rival Cardinals tonight at Busch. Indians beat the White Sox 5-2. Sox and Tigers begin a 3-game series on the south side tonight. There's a 4-way tie on top of the leaderboard after day one of the U.S. Open. Scott Piercy, Ian Poulter, Russell Henley, Dustin Johnson all shot a 169. For many, round one was a disaster at Shinnecock Hills. The news service of Sherwin-Williams. Now's the perfect time to bring color home. Ask Sherwin-Williams and save 40% on paints and stains during the 4-day Super Sale, June 15th through the 18th. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. 7:34. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says the left has ruined yet another event.
So the latest is the Miss America pageant. They are dropping the swimsuit competition and the evening gown competition. See, what a major factor of the left is fear of life, fear of reality.
These people are to the right of the religious right.
We don't want any thoughts of sin.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Here's some great News. If you missed the deadline to sign up for a health care plan, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2.5 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings may be less or more, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. Just hit **734. That's **734. **734.
736. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Hinsdale and Oakbrook, traffic stop and go on northbound 83 from 55th to 31st, where the roadway has reopened. It had been shut down with police activity. Glendale Heights, North Avenue still closed eastbound Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road for crash investigation. Delays in northwest Indiana on I-65 northbound. It's jammed. 205th Avenue to State Road 2. There's a stalled semi in the left lane. The Edens runs 20 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 21. Kennedy, 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown outbound 25. On Eisenhower, 49 minutes from 390 to the Circle, 35 from Manheim. Outbound 32 to 390. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 48. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Toys are lighter than usual today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Warm, more humid, clouds and sunshine. High of 88 today. Really hot air begins to pour in tomorrow with a high of 93 and a high Sunday of 95 with a heat index near 103. Currently 70. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the truth of the foreclosure crisis. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning is Kristen McQuarrie, she of the Tribune editorial board. And Kristen, your quick take, your hot take, as the kids say, if the year was 1987, on the summit meeting between Kim Jong-un and President Trump this week. The criticism of Trump was interesting as it came from some neocons of the conservative. Well, neocons by definition, conservatives that are more interventionists, as well as the left because they're the left. But was this progress? Was this a well thought out gambit by Trump to at least make this effort?
Well thought out, I'm not sure. I'm holding off on whether or not it's actually a success. But I'll tell you what I'm not bothered by. I'm not really bothered by his flattery. I suppose I'm supposed to be. Of Kim Jong-un, if that's what it takes to kind of stroke an ego in order to denuclearize and get us to this point, I don't really find that terribly offensive. But I'm hearing a lot of pushback on him for that.
Right. I don't know that Trump has forgotten who Kim Jong-un is, even though he's buttering him up for the purposes of this framework to denuclearization that they established. Here's Trump with Brett Baer on Air Force One earlier this week.
This should have been done 10 years, 15, 20 years ago. This shouldn't be done now where they have an arsenal of nuclear weapons. This should have never allowed to get to this point. With that being said, Chairman Kim wants to resolve the problem because he knew that we weren't playing around. I wasn't playing around. He's not playing around. We have a very, I really say for a fairly short-term relationship, because it was unbelievably hostile, the rhetoric. Rhetorically, it was unbelievably hostile. And I think we have a very good relationship. We understand each other.
I mean, for all of the compliments that occurred the day of the summit and in some exit interviews, as it were, let's not forget this is also the same guy who was ridiculing him, calling him Rocket Man,
right,
for most of his time as president of the United States. So it's a tactic. I don't know that it's a change of heart or a change of understanding about Kim Jong-un. But for more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Jed Babin, former United States Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Jed, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Well, glad to be here. And one of these days we need to talk about the fact that neocons aren't conservatives, but that's for another day.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, neo-conservative. Yeah, but yeah, I get. I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
All right, I hear you. What was your take in terms of the criticisms of Trump as of conceding too much, like ending the quote-unquote war games, of being too complimentary? Was this a productive first meet? Is a framework for denuclearization a real possibility?
Well, I think that it was really too much to expect that anybody, whether it's President Trump or anybody else, could have done a lot more with Kim Jong-un in this first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did very well. I think he did give up a couple of things that he might not have gotten anything for, such as suspending the military exercises with South Korea. But we have to remember that thing, well, it's not quite a toggle switch. I mean, you can't just turn those things on and off. But a military exercise can be rescheduled real easy. So suspending them is no big deal, and we can unsuspend them almost immediately.
Well,
so I think he did well. I wish he hadn't praised Kim as much as he did. I mean, Trump has said, well, I can trust Kim. He really has changed. Well, no. So let's just see how it plays out. There are going to be several more meetings, I'm sure, and I am very skeptical about anything coming out of it, whether the North Koreans are going to denuclearize at all, I doubt. But we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Well, right, and so while Trump was being complimentary in some of these interviews with Stephanopoulos, with Bret Baier, at the same time, so concurrently, you had Mike Pompeo making clear that no sanctions are being relaxed, and
right.
And the only way we're going to deal, at a substantive level, is after we have verified that denuclearization is in process or complete. So, there's the kind of the criticism of Trump somehow giving away the store or ceding leverage to Kim Jong-un. I don't really see.
No, I think that's exactly right. And I think, when you have real grown-ups like John Bolton and Mike Pompeo sitting at the president's corner and saying, yeah, boss, maybe we could do this, but not that, I really don't have a lot of worry about any bad deal coming out.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. What was your take on, just switching gears a bit, on the IG report, FBI, and what were the biggest bombshells that you think were revealed?
Well, I tried to stay awake reading this thing, and I haven't gotten through all 600 pages. But it doesn't strike me as something that is at all unusual and as, quite frankly, interesting only insofar as the findings of bias. You have the issue of, well, we didn't find anybody saying in writing that we're going to go out and help Hillary or screw Trump. Well, but that does not relieve the FBI of the obvious bias that went on throughout the election and, quite frankly, still appears to be going on today. So the question is, how do you clean up the FBI? And that's a very, very big task. It's going to require firing a bunch of people. It's going to require not just training. I mean, they're out there saying, well, we're going to train everybody now on not being politically biased. Well, that's fine, but you have to do a lot more than that. You have to have leadership in place that is going to ensure that there is no political bias in anything the FBI does. And I don't think they can do that with their current leadership. I really sincerely don't.
Did you find that the report revealed something that was particularly different from your experience when you served in government, or has this kind of been a culture at FBI no matter which political party is in charge?
Well, I don't know. I was never in the Justice Department or the FBI. I sat across the river in the big five-sided puzzle palace. But the thing is, it struck me that having a culture in the FBI where people were routinely talking to the media when they shouldn't have been, accepting gratuities from the media like golf outings and free lunches and stuff like that. That is a severe cultural crisis within the FBI that has to be, again, dug into at a very basic level. And I think that's the big shocker for me, is that they were just blithely leaking to the media. And we've seen it, and we still see it. And there's still, I believe, there's still a great deal of political bias going on in the FBI, not just with respect to Trump, but with respect to actually revealing what they have done in respect to congressional requests for all sorts of oversight documents and testimony. The fact that they're trying to hide something right now and going to extraordinary lengths to hide it is a very telling fact about the whole Justice Department. It goes all the way up to Rod Rosenstein at least.
And so what about that? So what about the senior leadership of CIA, Brennan, of Justice, of the FBI at the end of the Obama administration, and obviously Hillary Clinton, too, as the Secretary of State turned a presidential nominee? What is sort of all of this that continues to drip out, and now in bigger drips with these huge reports? What does it say about what we should understand about the Obama administration and the rule of law?
Well, the Obama administration and the rule of law, as proven by these various investigations and as proven by the various revelations that continue to come out and will probably come out for the next 20 years, they were the most lawless and most corrupt, intellectually corrupt and politically corrupt administration we have seen since I don't know when. You know, you have a situation where the intelligence branches were so corrupted by Obama, and you may not even remember this, pardon me, but there was a report that came out about a year and a half ago that, well, actually, it's more than 2 years ago now. CENTCOM, Central Command, the intelligence analysts at Central Command were forced to change their conclusions because they did not match the President Obama's political conclusions. They didn't support his political plans.
Right.
And a general, a four-star general who was the commander of CENTCOM was removed over that. Lloyd Austin was fired, and he should have been. So that's the kind of thing you see not only in military intelligence, you saw in the civilian intelligence agencies. The Obama administration was a totally politicized organization in places where politics shouldn't go, like the CIA, like the Justice Department, like all of the other branches.
Well, and
this is the kind of thing that you cannot easily route out, and I'll bet you there are about 75% of the people who were responsible for that politicization are still there.
And one of the things the IG report pointed out was it sort of caught Obama in a lie about what he knew and when he knew it with Hillary Clinton's private emails. You talk about in your most recent column Team Obama lying to Congress on money going to Iran for the 2015 nuclear weapons deal. Tell us a little bit about your latest piece.
Well, thank you. I wrote for the American Spectator last Monday that the fact that the Obama administration had the Treasury Secretary and an Assistant Secretary of the Treasury up there in Congress testifying that the Iran deal would not allow any use of the American banking system by Iran, and at the same time they were trying to grant licenses to American banks through this Office of Financial, pardon me, I don't remember the acronym stands for Office of Financial Access Control, whatever it is. OFAC was attempting to grant licenses to a Yemeni bank, Omani bank, to wash money for the Iranians through the American banking system. And the only reason it did not succeed, the only reason the scheme by the Obama administration didn't succeed, was the American bank said, hey, we're not doing this because we'll be liable under the sanctions law if we do. So the Obama administration was lying to Congress, trying to help the Iranians, and this is not the only way they tried to help the Iranians before the deal. Don't forget, they stopped a Justice Department investigation. I'm talking about Justice Department politicization and corruption. They stopped a Justice Department investigation of Hezbollah, the Lebanese Shiite terrorist proxy organization that runs for Iran, that Iran runs, really. They stopped an investigation of their drug trafficking, which impacted the United States, probably still does. The Obama administration didn't want anything to go against their idea of the Iran deal. And in doing so, they corrupted the Justice Department, they corrupted the Treasury Department, and again, we know so much about this, I can't imagine what else is going to come out now, because there's a lot more, I'm guaranteeing you, there's a lot more history of corruption from the Obama administration, in the Obama administration, that we don't even know about yet.
That scandal-free administration, yes. Judd Babin, former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Judd, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And you joined us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your weather forecast: warm and humid with clouds and sunshine. High of 88 degrees today, dropping to about 74 overnight. And tomorrow, hot and humid, high of 93 degrees. Let's get a check of the roads with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Kristen and Dan. Oak Brook still have some delays on northbound 83. All lanes are open again at 31st after police activity. Glendale Heights, eastbound North Avenue, shut down. Bloomingdale Road to Glen Ellen Road for crash investigation. Eden's 19 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Montrose, 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 28. Eisenhower, 49 minutes from 390 downtown, outbound is 44 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 48 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to merge. Bishop Ford, believe it or not, just 15. Southbound Tri-State, now very heavy from 190 to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound delays are from the 83rd Street toll to LaGrange Road, from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. Found Veterans Memorial, slope out into Maple. I'm Jim Talamonte with the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Men, are you tired of those daily blue enhancement pills that take days, weeks, or months to work, if they ever work at all? Listen up. Now you can take Red, the new natural male empowerment pill that works on demand. Even your partner will notice the difference the very first time you use it. To prove Red won't disappoint like the others, you're invited to participate in our nationwide I Take Red Partner Reaction Guarantee Trial. We're seeking participants for this nationwide trial, not only to prove it works the very first time you try it. We guarantee your partner will also notice the difference. Forget those slow-acting blue pills and join those who proudly take Red. Over 50,000 pills have already been claimed and supplies are limited. So to ensure your participation in this free nationwide trial, you must call now.
Superior virility on demand. You only need to take Red once to see what all the fuss is about. Call immediately to participate in our free nationwide trial. Call 800-658-0723. 800-658-0723. Be one of thousands to proudly say, I take Red. 800-658-0723.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Chicago? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Chicago area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Chicago is a perfect market for my system, and this week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-300-2330. Seating is extremely limited. Call right now because this free ticket offer expires this Friday. That's 1-800-300-2330. That's 1-800-300-2330.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Everything big city Dem mayors like Rahm Emanuel do is for the kids, they tell us with ersatz earnestness. Rahm, tiny dancer I call him, is quick to take up cause celebs like the Parkland High School Gun Control Brigade in the name of school safety. What Rahm and his leftist colleagues won't do is change school systems run by the adults for the adults, even when some of those adults are child predators. In a blockbuster expose, the Chicago Tribune documented a long-running sex abuse scandal inside the Chicago public schools that should end Tiny Dancer's career, should be international news on par with the coverage given the Catholic Church's scandal, and that should serve as a warning to public school parents across the country. According to the Tribune, since Tiny Dancer was elected in 2011, 430 reports of sexual abuse have been investigated, with credible evidence of misconduct found in 230 of those incidents. Worse yet, the story identified repeated failures to screen out Chicago public schools employees with prior arrests related to alleged sexual offenses involving children. lot of attention is devoted to holding Pauls and their appointees accountable for threats to kids in school that come from the outside. What about the threats they welcome inside and cover for?
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com. Or call 847-224-2167.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up at 8:08, we're going to talk to famed, retired now, FBI special agent and criminal profiler. He led the Unabomber investigation and capture. James Fitzgerald is going to tell us whether or not the FBI is salvageable at 8:08. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
The National Weather Service tells us a heat wave is about to slam the Chicago area this weekend. A 12-year-old girl killed, a man wounded in a West Side shooting. Mayor Emanuel and Elon Musk unveil their idea for high-speed rail service plans from the Loop to O'Hare. A man convicted of killing 2 Chicago police officers will get a new trial. There was a guilty verdict overnight in an SIU student from the suburbs' 2014 death in Carbondale. Cubs are at the Cardinals this weekend. Indians beat the White Sox. Warm and humid today. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
He thinks the Inspector General blew it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump telling Fox and Friends there was total bias in the Hillary Clinton investigation. The report said there was an anti-Trump cloud over it, but no decisions were made for political reasons.
The top people were horrible. You look at what happened. They were plotting against my election. Probably has never happened like that.
And he said this about James Comey, the FBI director he fired.
What he did was horrible. Should he be locked up? Let somebody make a determination. Look at all the dishonest things that crooked Hillary did.
The report called Comey insubordinate in his decision not to charge Clinton in her private email server investigation while Secretary of State, then reopening the probe just before the election.
Top Democrats say the agency's actions during the FBI's probe of Hillary Clinton's emails helped Donald Trump become president. California Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, tweeting, there is, quote, no anti-Trump cabal at the FBI.
Fox's Sean Langell. The president also talked about his summit with North Korea's leaders, saying they had a good discussion in the denuclearization effort.
Are we close to seeing Mr. Kim here at the White House?
Could happen. I mean,
they talked about that yesterday.
I would have him. Yeah, I think it's something that could happen.
He says North Korea has started returning remains of Americans from the Korean War. The president also discussed new tariffs just announced on more things made in China. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Claiming that trade between the U.S. and China has been very unfair for a very long time, the president is imposing a steep tariff on Chinese exports. The president explained his decision on Fox and Friends.
Well, we're just going to do $50 billion on $50 billion of high technology equipment and other things coming into the country.
Beijing previously said it would respond with retaliatory tariffs on $50 billion of U.S. products, such as cars, planes, and soybeans. Dave?
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Right now, sunshine, 71 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A search underway after a mother and her two children reported missing in Chicago's West Humboldt Park neighborhood. LaTanya Barnett was last seen Sunday near Division in Pulaski. She's believed to be traveling with her 1-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter. Northern Illinois bracing for a heat wave. Excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow morning and lasts until Monday night. No one is in custody after a 12-year-old girl was shot and killed, a man wounded in a shooting on Chicago's west side. Both were shot at a gathering last night in the 4200 block of West Wilcox. Mayor Emanuel says building an underground high-speed rail service is the fast lane to Chicago's future. The mayor and billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk unveiled plans yesterday to create express transit tunnels between the Loop and O'Hare. Passengers are designed to be transported from the Loop to O'Hare in just about 12 minutes. Authorities are searching for the man who robbed a bank in Lamont. The FBI says the robbery happened yesterday at a TCF bank branch. A $1,000 reward has been posted. The owner of decomposing bodies has renewed calls to replace a county morgue in Kane County. Daily Herald says the King County morgue only has room for 2 bodies in its freezer. The facility has seen a sudden influx of decomposing bodies. The odor is strong in coolers, and they do not completely mask the smell. Employees in neighboring buildings have started to complain. The coroner's working with a private company to see how much a new morgue would cost. While some county board members want to act fast, others think Kane County should be spending money on do not think the county should be spending money on a new facility. Cubs and Cardinals tonight at Busch. White Sox and Tigers begin a 3-game series after the Indians beat the White Sox yesterday 5-2. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, AT&T's merger with Time Warner Inc. has closed. The Justice Department says it could appeal the merger later. It hasn't decided yet whether it will challenge the judge's decision. Auto parts supplier Borg Warner is reevaluating its accounting. The company says it has asbestos-related claims that were not reported. It's also revising its 2013 and 14 financial statements. Software company Adobe Systems reported stronger earnings. You could be paying more for things you buy on Etsy. Starting tomorrow, the online crafts company is raising the fees it charges sellers. They'll now kick in 5% to Etsy for every sale and a 5% fee on shipping costs. Etsy says it'll use the money to improve customer support and will reinvest in the company. The Dow was down 25 yesterday, NASDAQ up 65, S&P added 6. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder just wants America to know the facts.
Contrary to the Black Lives Matter narrative, the police have much more to fear from black males than black males have to fear from the police. In 2015, a police officer was 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black male than an unarmed black male was to be killed by a police officer.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You don't remember days, you remember moments. But when the old tapes and photos that hold your cherished memories degrade, or worse, you lose them, they're gone forever. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve those irreplaceable moments.
Load your Legacy Box with your old tapes, film, pictures, and audio, and send them in. You'll get them back on DVD or a convenient thumb drive.
Visit legacybox.com/USA. And for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your order. legacybox.com/USA.
It's 8:06. Let's get an update on what's happening on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Glendale Heights, North Avenue has finally reopened completely between Bloomingdale Road and Glen Ellen Road after a major crash and ensuing investigation. A big jam on northbound I-65, 205th Avenue to State Road 2 in Lowell. There's a stalled semi in the left lane. Tri-State Tollway, southbound, stop and go 190 to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound delays are from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, Ogden to 31st, and St. Charles to North Avenue. Adams and Reagan tollways are fine. Veterans Memorial southbound a bit heavy, St. Charles to 22nd. Northbound stop and go Boughton to Maple. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 24 from Montrose, 22 in the Express, outbound 28 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 44. Stevenson an hour and 3 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. The Ryan 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat watch in effect tomorrow morning through Monday evening. Heat wave tomorrow into Monday. It will be warm and more humid today with clouds and sunshine, high 88, then partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight with a low 74. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Opportunity Project. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning, Kristen McQuarrie. She of the Chicago Tribune editorial board. And that 568-page Inspector General, DOJ Inspector General report issued yesterday. And the top lines: insubordination, indifference, improper gifts, intimidated by Hillary's lawyers. Not exactly a banner day for the FBI or for the Department of Justice, for that matter. And President Trump seizing on it through Twitter and this morning on Fox and Friends, suggesting that he has been completely exonerated. What he has been saying about Jim Comey for months and months he's been vindicated over those statements that he has made. And Christopher Wray, even while the D.C. press corps tries to spin this report as conceding no evidence of bias, of course, that's not what the report says, and there are examples, in quotation marks, things people actually said, as well as evidence of things people did that demonstrate manifest bias. And oh, by the way, the current director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, is now ordering political bias training for FBI staff, Starbucks style, I presume. Christopher Wray yesterday in response to the report.
We need to hold ourselves accountable for the choices we make and the work we do. We're doing that fairly but without delay in the way that people should expect. We're going to adhere to the appropriate disciplinary process, and once that process is complete, we won't hesitate to hold people accountable for their actions.
Okay, that's sort of like a framework for denuclearization. Has a lot of words strung together that sound good. The details have yet to be filled in, it seems. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend, retired FBI special agent and famed criminal profiler from the Unabomber case, James Fitzgerald, who is also the author of a series of books, A Journey to the Center of the Mind, and he's played by Sam Worthington in the Unabomber series on Netflix, which is really good. Paul Bettany plays Kaczynski, but it's a really good series.
I read the book. Have not.
Oh, you have
not
read it?
familiar with the series.
Oh, sure. I mean, of course.
Of course.
You're a reader.
I'm an intellect.
Of course, you read. You don't see movies.
Exactly.
It's for the hoi polloi. James Fitzgerald, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Kristen.
Your reaction to the Inspector General's report and what it says about your former employer.
Yeah, I mean, where to begin here? I mean, it's not even, the ink, as they used to say, is not even dry on this report yet. And I thought reading the manifesto back in the day, the Unabomber's manifesto was dense and intense. At least he numbered his individual paragraphs. This makes it even more confusing and about 3 times the size. And full disclosure here, I'm actually working a legal case. I do my day job with my company. I do some forensic linguistic work. So I didn't really get a chance to deep dive into the report, but I have been, following some media coverage of it, and it's eye-opening, it's depressing, it's exhilarating, all at the same time. And I mean exhilarating sort of in a negative sense, in that it just reinforces to me. And Dan, I was on your show back in early February, and I remember saying, a cancer has metastasized at the very top of the FBI, and we have some agents now clearly named. Others are Agent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's some attorneys mixed in there too. We know DOJ played a role in this. DOJ, Department of Justice, and it was just truly. It's almost, Reagan coined axis of evil with Russia, North Korea, and Iran. We're actually friendly with at least 2 of those countries now. I think we have like an axis of criminality here with the IRS, DOJ, and of course FBI is under there. And the whole nexus of this, and I think I've said this to you before, it has to do with Hillary Clinton. She is the end-all and be-all of everything here. There's circles that work outwards, from the interior to the exterior, and everything touches on her and what she did, what she tried to do, what her people did, and of course Obama's in there too. The FBI and DOJ was just a mess in 2016. People were promoted to positions probably for the sole purpose of trying to alter the course of a campaign and an election, and it's just so sad to see this and to read about this. But I do have there's a glimmer of hope here. I didn't agree. I think Wray could have come upon, or he could have stated some more forcefully, used his words to describe, what happened in the immediate past. But I think on the whole, he's doing a good job. And like I've said all along, I believe the FBI as an institution is fine. It's legit. 99.9%. I always use the same number. Are great people. And thank goodness we have that 0.1% finally out, perhaps even facing prosecution at some point.
So you were an agent for many years. You retired in 2007 from the FBI. What is the expectation day to day? Is there a case to be made that in some of these instances, these are colleagues who are in relationships in some cases, just texting each other, having like a harmless conversation? I'm just pushing back a little bit on this narrative, but is that not a regular work environment that should be tolerated at the FBI? And what was it like when you were there over the course of various, and I'm sure very heated presidential campaigns?
Kristen, nothing like I now know about from the year 2016. And of course, I was already removed by eight years or so. And of course, text messaging was not quite as big back then. But we certainly had emails. We could certainly have to be careful on an elevator riding up and down when I was in New York, 26 Federal Plaza, because all different kinds of people were on it. And I almost feel embarrassed that these agents were not bright enough to realize they're using bureau phones, government phones. And as anybody knows who works for any company, your messages, be it spoken, written, at least who you're calling and who's calling you, the company owns that. And do they really think no one would ever see this? But, Kristen, it really comes back to the fact, and I know, Dan, and you have discussed this before, and everybody else has, everybody assumed that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. So none of this would have been an issue. It all would have been swept under the carpet if even identified at all. And that's where this whole issue just comes about, and it just manifests itself throughout like a sickness, like a virus, through the seventh floor of the FBI and this squad they put together to work these two cases. And one just shifted from the Hillary investigation to the alleged Russian investigation involving Trump. And of course, Spygate, we know about that. I would have never seen anything like this. I worked a little bit for Mueller right after 9/11. I was never asked, nor did I expect to play any sort of a role like some of these things I've seen under Comey. I knew Comey back in my New York days. He was a young assistant U.S. attorney. I was a young agent working bank robberies and the like. But I think agents, at least the agents I would associate with, knew a little bit better than to put things out publicly like this and on emails, on text messages. You just didn't do that. First of all, because you knew it could come back and kick you in the butt in terms of any sort of investigation down the line. But second of all, you just didn't want to taint an investigation. And third of all, you just didn't want to think like that. You should have horse blinders on and not be susceptible to political whims of your own or other people around you. And that's what we had on the seventh floor of FBI headquarters through most of 15 and 16, and of course into some of 17. And that's what now everyone's paying the price for this, including this country as a whole, seeing our great institution of the FBI brought down like this.
So do you place most of the blame for the cultural problem at FBI during 2016 on Jim Comey, and that culture will change under Wray because you've got now a new leadership, and so there'll be this new culture? Because, I mean, Comey, this op-ed in the New York Times that he wrote in response to the IG report is really breathtaking. And I've been watching it for the last 2 years, so I thought I would be a nerd to him by now, but I'm still not. He essentially suggests that, you know what, Dan, this this report says I'm wrong, but that's great, because what we have here is an honest disagreement among a bunch of people trying to get it right earnestly. Hearts are all in the right place. Heads are all in the right place. We just have some honest disagreements. That's essentially what he's saying in this op-ed, and that's not what the IG report says.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like a participation trophy for people nowadays. Hey, I participated in this, and sure, I didn't win the championship, or we actually finished in last place, but I'll take this as something that is better for everybody, including me. And it shocks the conscience that he actually could look at that. And he wrote the exoneration letter or memo, several months before Hillary Clinton was in fact exonerated by him in July of 2016. And now, when did he write this op-ed piece for the New York Times with the report only coming out yesterday?
Exactly.
To him.
He has a
And
history.
believe me, anybody who does professional writing, you want to make sure you get it right, dot your I's, keys, literally, and he has his whole thing out that made it into yesterday morning's paper, which of course means it had to be in a day or two before. So I have some questions about that issue too, but that's pretty far down the list in terms of his boldness and his pretentiousness, quite frankly, that he is sort of above all this. And yeah, a reasonable person could have seen this in both ways. I understand that, and we're all better for it now. No, Mr. Comey, that's not what your job was back in that day, back in running the FBI for the several years that you did. You had to be above the law. You had to be better than what you practiced and what you manifested through your own agency. And don't apologize now, and don't claim like nothing ever happened. And I just heard Trump say literally 20 minutes ago that he feels there are some criminal aspects to what James Comey did, not to mention Peter Strzok. And we'll see what his DOJ winds up doing with that.
Not to mention Andy McCabe. He is James Fitzgerald, retired FBI special agent, famed criminal profiler from the Unabomber case, the series of books, A Journey to the Center of the Mind, and then you catch the Unabomber Manhunt Unabomber series on Netflix, that is, which is excellent, as I've said before. James Fitzgerald, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dan and Kristen. Have a great weekend.
You too. And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your weather forecast the next 2 days, hot and steamy. Today, high of 88 degrees, lots of sun. Tonight, drops to about 74 degrees. Tomorrow, we climb back up in the 90s. Let's get a check of the roads with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Kristen. Northbound I-65 traffic is stop and go 205th Avenue to State Road 2, where all lanes are open. There was earlier a stalled truck. Tri-State Tollway northbound, it's really heavy from 190 to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound stop and go from the Stevenson to 31st, and a little slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial, southbound it's sluggish, St. Charles to 22nd, northbound 75th to the Reagan Tollway. The other tollways are fine. The Edens is clear. Kennedy inbound delays start at Addison. 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown, little more in the Express. Locals are quicker. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose, 28 to the airport. But Eisenhower, 49 minutes, 390 to downtown, 35 from Mannheim. Outbound 44 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 40. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 just a little slow, 103rd to the merge. Bishop Ford fine. Lakeshore Drive, tight southbound Belmont to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You've heard us say if your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy.
Also, if your gutters, siding, windows, or entry door is needy,
call Grumweedy.
What's that all about?
This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Replace your roof and receive free gutters. Or replace the siding or windows on your home and receive a free entry door.
We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that is up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And get free gutters or an entry door as a thank you. Some restrictions apply, and this special won't last long.
We fix roof, siding, and window problems. We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you. If your home is needy,
call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Kristen McQuarrie in for Amy J this morning. And, we're not going to have him for very much longer. El Gallito is soon to venture off to Puerto Rico to become a real estate magnate on the taxpayer dime, that bailout money.
You've been really working on the trolling of your R's.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So Gutierrez is going to get his final licks in. And, in case you're a little perturbed with Jeff Sessions recusing himself from the Russian collusion investigation and some other matters, here's a way for you to rally to Jeff Sessions' defense once again. Here's Luis Gutierrez at a We the People Socialist Summit this week talking about Jeff Sessions.
Sessions, he just loved, for black people to be in the back of the bus again. Yeah, he loved for women to be in the kitchen. He loved for gay people to be in the closet again. And for me, not to have a microphone to be able to speak to anybody. We're not going to allow that to happen.
No, I like when you talk, El Gallito. I think it's clarifying. He was asked, subsequent to that performance, if you really wanted to stand by those words that the Attorney General of the United States, you think Jeff Sessions is a racist who wants black people to the back of the bus and women in the kitchen and so on and so forth. And Gutierrez, in classic Chicago Democrat form, doubled down.
I mean, this is a man that when he came before the Senate to try to become a federal judge, Coretta Scott King came forward, right? I mean, there were all kinds of testimonies about him calling black men boys. This is a man who is trying to strip black people as a U.S. senator from their voting rights and diminish their voting rights. I mean, this is a man that works for Donald Trump. And
there's
we know
the
what
real
happened
in, there it is.
Charlottesville. We know where he's at. And when it comes to the Violence Against Women's Act, he voted against it. Wouldn't you ever see him stand up for women? He's never stood up for women, and he's never stood up. This is a man that protects Donald Trump when Donald Trump says that transgender people in the military should be banished.
So, just take your calls. Fond memories of El Gallito, your favorite highlight from his illustrious 2-decade career as a member of Congress representing the Chicago, part of the Chicagoland area, of course.
What was his role back when Clinton was, when there was impeachment hearings against Clinton? I love hearing all of these longtime Democrats talk about the women's movement and Trump, and like Senator Durbin, for example, voted not to impeach, not to convict when it came to the Senate. So, they have a record too.
Oh, they have a record. I mean, it's just recently that Gutierrez's property was put back on the property tax rolls. Oh, do they have a record? Coming up at 8:38, Netflix isn't the only one that could use a new anti-harassment policy. How about House Speaker Mike Madigan? But first, we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 73 degrees, 8:31. President Trump weighing in on the Justice Department Inspector General report on the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton email probe. He stepped outside of the White House this morning to speak with Fox News, who asked if the president thought the former FBI Director James Comey should be locked up.
I would never want to get involved in that. Certainly, they just seem like very criminal acts to me. What he did was criminal. What he did was a terrible thing to the people. What he did was so bad in terms of our Constitution.
The report released yesterday was highly critical of Comey, but ultimately found he had not acted with political bias, according to that report. Federal immigration policy that separates children from their illegal immigrant parents at the U.S.-Mexico border is sparking rallies across the country. Thousands gathered yesterday in marches in California, Texas, and Michigan. Cereal giant Kellogg's is recalling Honey Smacks cereal because of a possible link to a salmonella outbreak in more than 30 states. The search is underway for a mother and 2 children reported missing from Chicago's West Humboldt Park neighborhood. LaTanya Barnett was last seen Sunday near Division in Pulaski and is believed to be traveling with her 1-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter. Northern Illinois bracing for a heat wave. The Chicago area will have an excessive heat watch go into effect tomorrow morning and last until Monday evening. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the rival Cardinals tonight at Busch. Indians beat the White Sox 5-2. Sox and Tigers begin a 3-game series on the south side tonight. The news service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says this is why you elected Donald Trump.
The president is correct in calling off the Eagles' White House visit, telling ungrateful, overpaid athletes that if you can't take a few minutes and not aggressively disrespect the national anthem, and you don't want to go to the White House, then your team, including its owner and coaches, are certainly not welcome either. This is why you elected Donald Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
It's 8:34. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. I-65 northbound traffic still a bit heavy approaching State Road 2. There was an earlier stalled truck there. Edens is fine. Kennedy inbound. Stop and go traffic. Addison to the Burn Circle. 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 21 from Montrose. 22 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose. 28 to O'Hare. On Eisenhower, delays are from North Avenue to before St. Charles and Pulaski to the Circle. 49 minutes, 390 to downtown. 33 from Manheim. Outbound 38 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40. Orion, 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop Ford Fine is 15. Southbound Tri-State, traffic is knotted up from Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from the Stevenson to 47th, and a bit slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial southbound slow North Avenue to 22nd, northbound 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Warm, more humid, clouds and sunshine today, high 88. Air quality kind of unhealthy overnight, especially for the sensitive groups, low 74. Very hot and humid tomorrow, high of 93, 95 with heat indexes soaring into the triple digits on Sunday. 73. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, Kristen McQuarrie, Chicago Tribune Ed Board. And let's turn stateside a bit here. Last time you were on, we talked a little bit about Madigan's future. Mike Madigan, House Speaker, longest-serving state House Speaker in the history of Western civilization. And since that time, we saw him lose yet another inner sanctum member, his longtime Chief of Staff, Tim Mapes, to allegations of inappropriate conduct related to women in Springfield. And then this week we had this rather interesting development. Kevin Quinn, who's one of his field goons, who was dismissed a few weeks back for essentially, arguably, the accusation was sort of stalking, harassing another campaign operative named Elena Hampton, who came forward. And this becomes like the fifth member of Madigan's inner circle that is in trouble, resigned, kicked out, the subject of serious allegations. He released a statement this week that essentially takes each claim that his accuser, this is Kevin Quinn, Elena Hampton's his accuser, each claim that she made, both politically and as it relates to him personally, and refutes it, or at least provides additional context to it. I don't know what the truth is. I do know that Kevin Quinn has a order of protection against him from an ex-wife.
An ex-wife who 6 months before he was fired by Madigan also says she sent Madigan a detailed letter about the domestic abuse that she was suffering and was ignored. So a known domestic abuser, alleged, but she says she sent a letter detailing these allegations against her husband months before he was terminated. And remember, this is important. This is somebody who's part of his on-the-ground operation. He only was fired when it became clear that the Tribune was about to publish a story about Alana's accusations against him. So it was only when...
Elena Hampton also said she sent a letter to Mike Madigan detailing the problems that she was having.
Months before.
Right.
She says she was harassed by him for like five months, and Madigan only let him go, fired him, dealt with it, hours before the Tribune was about to publish this report. But that's just in the past few days. Kevin Quinn caught up with reporters at a hearing of Hampton's case, handed out this 14-page letter where he basically says he was inappropriate, but it did not rise to the level of a firing offense. And he kind of blamed the media. It's no secret that the media has strong, unconscious personal biases against Speaker Madigan. He wrote, negative news sells. And so, in large, the news coverage over the last 15 years surrounding Speaker Madigan has attempted to paint him in a negative light. So he sort of blames everything, not on his own texts, which we've seen, where he's pursuing this much younger campaign worker and asking her out on dates, telling her she looks hot. That's excusable, apparently.
Although he says, she wasn't a subordinate of mine. I wasn't making hiring or placement decisions. But the interesting thing to me is not so much that back and forth, although if the things that Elena Hampton says happened, in addition to the text messages, happened, then it's a problem, there's no question. It's interesting because there's a couple of things happening here. One is there's no lag time anymore. There was lag time for Shaw DeCreamer, a lobbyist, campaign operative of Madigan, and for Kevin Quinn. Then you move to, past Lou Lang, his deputy majority leader, and to Mapes. And Mapes, the accusation comes one mid-morning, and Tim Mapes, his 2-decade-long implementation guy, chief of staff, is gone 2 hours later.
Right.
That's a quick turnaround. That's like full self-survival mode as far as I'm concerned. That's what it appears to be. And the Kevin Quinn statement, the 14-page letter you referenced, this is something that wasn't approved. This is something that wasn't, it didn't emanate from Madigan's office, didn't get the high sign from Madigan. So now you've got a field goon like Kevin Quinn deciding comm strategy for himself, which he obviously knows will reflect back on Madigan, but doesn't feel the need, or Madigan's lost control of people in terms of who's saying what to whom when, which is very un-Madigan-like. And my question to you then is, with how you see this progressing, in addition to some rumblings with his own caucus, and admittedly they are just more like whimpering in his own caucus, not even rising to the level of rumblings yet. Do we have some the possibility, with a lot of rumors that there is much more yet to come, with respect to Lou Lang and just in general, do we have the possibility that this could be Madigan's undoing, and it could come before the November election?
I don't think so, and we've talked about this before. I think there is a separation between the Tim Mapes type behavior, which I don't know was necessarily sexual in nature as it was just harassment, and he was kind of a tyrant. He ran a very tight ship. He obviously said horrible things to Sherry Garrett, the woman who came forward with allegations against him, but there is still a loyalty to Madigan. Madigan is not someone who's dumb enough to approve of any of this behavior, to say anything himself. They owe him. He owes them. So I don't see this as being part of his necessary downfall. He is also appeasing them by creating this new panel where they're going to choose the new executive director of the Democratic Party. Executive director.
Oh.
So I just feel like this will wash over in some regard, and they will feel like they can at least go back and say, we demanded that we got to pick a new woman to oversee the party function.
What if he also just incorporates in toto the new Netflix anti-harassment policy? Do you think that would satisfy the the kind of the pea hat wearers, the men and women in his caucus, mostly from Chicago? If in regular dealings with members of the House, including on the floor, you could not stare at someone for longer than 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. That is part of the new Netflix anti-sexual
harassment
policy.
You got 5 seconds. Okay. Anything more is creepy.
You got to look away. Okay.
And creepy is a legal technical term.
Yes, it is.
No lingering hugs or touches. Okay. Boy, that's going to really put a crimp in Lou Lang's time in Springfield. Don't ask a colleague out more than once if they've said no. Steer clear of a colleague once they've said they're not interested in you. I don't know why this requires a policy for adults, but apparently this is a problem. Don't flirt. And then if somebody, could you imagine this on the House or Senate floor, in the chambers? If someone is doing something that's inappropriate, not following these rules, you shout, "Stop! Don't do that again," Lou Lang.
I mean, actually, I think this is the perfect environment for these rules because there isn't a more first, second, third grade ridiculous, immature environment of men and women probably than in Springfield. So, yes, maybe they need to be told that you have to shout if someone is saying something you don't like. Don't look at each other longer than 5
Stranger
seconds.
danger, stranger danger.
Yes. No more passing notes around like, who's the hottest lawmaker? Rank 1 to 10.
Oh my,
Do you like
that
so-and-so?
actually happened.
Circle, yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
No
a
more,
very elementary school environment. So
no more scrolling on your Trapper Keeper. I heart the assistant majority leader.
Exactly. I think that's a brilliant idea.
The interesting thing, though, just talking about the political dynamics of this and why one organization, crime family, some might say, is more successful than the other. You were talking about the loyalty to Madigan and that he can survive this. You think any Republican would survive anything like this?
No, of course not.
And the interesting thing is Rauner, right? He appoints a former state representative, Ken Duncan, to the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. You know, good, not a bad gig.
No, not a bad gig at all.
Mm-hmm. What's the percentage of employees at MWRD north of $100,000? Like all of them?
Pretty close. The commissioners get paid $80,000, and I think they have to show up to like 1 meeting a month, and they qualify for a pension.
So when Rauner, because Ken Duncan was named along with Tim Mapes as somebody who said and behaved inappropriately towards Sherry Garrett and others.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Mm-hmm. He's appointed to, he's Democrat, was Democrat state rep. He's appointed MWRD board by Rauner as payback for this one vote that he took against Madigan a couple of years ago with respect to collective bargaining negotiation power. And Rauner, of course, in the wake of this being, you know, just like wherever.
Panicking. Oh, God, what do I do?
Wherever the zeitgeist is, that's where I want to be. Oh, my God. He calls for Ken Duncan to step down MWRD. And what does Ken Duncan say? Tim Mapes, I've asked for Tim Mapes' resignation. He, you know, it was on my desk before I finished my sentence with respect to Madigan. Ken Duncan, I've asked for Ken Duncan to step down. I know I'm not in charge. I'm only the governor, but I have asked for Ken Duncan to step down. Ken Duncan's response, I don't think so.
No, get lost. Get lost, basically.
I'm good.
He also just doesn't have any statutory authority to ask him to step down.
Yeah, but there's statutory authority and then there's political weight.
Yeah, but
right?
Yes, but also the issue is he appointed him to this spot. Ken Duncan is a little bit of a risky appointment given his history. And then days after he appoints him, he picks up the phone and is like, hey, you know, given this latest allegation against you, could you please step down?
Nope.
Yeah.
Hey, can you do me a solid? No.
No.
Not going to happen.
No, he was sworn in like hours later at an MWRD meeting. Ken Duncan.
Yeah. Hey, I got to go. I got to get to this board meeting at MWRD. You know, the thing you appointed me to. By the way, the rumors about Ken Duncan, everybody knew. Everybody's heard that stuff about Ken Duncan before, too.
Oh, yes.
So this is a surprise to no one.
Right.
Including the governor who's not in charge. I mean, it's just a remarkable contrast it's been this way in the Republican Party for a long time. Predates Rauner. He's just another example of the pathetic leadership of the Republican Party for a long time. How weak it is. How weak and just cowardly it is. It's every moment for the Republican Party here is the Jeb Bush please clap moment. Please clap. Please like me. Please help me. Please, someone, won't you help me? And Madigan, even in the face of this incursion into his inner sanctum with something that is a national movement, I agree with you. He's a long way from any sort of existential threat.
I think so.
Although you never know where it's going to go, but he's a
Right.
long way from there.
I think you would have to have a direct connection to him knowing and sweeping things under the rug. And we don't have that, and I think he's smarter than that. So
And also, I still think he could buy his way out of it with respect to his caucus, because you just have too many people that are reliant on him for campaign cash, in addition to reliant on him for their phony baloney jobs and government
their
throughout the
families,
state.
and their children in some cases, and their siblings.
Yes, right. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Kristen. Hey, Dan, I know you're always resurrecting one of your cover bands.
Yes.
Maybe you could resurrect your Tears for Fears cover band.
Everybody wants to
I was
rule the world.
No, I was thinking about redoing the lyrics for Shout Shout. So
Yeah.
like it could be the political slogan song, shout, shout, pull
Let it
your
all
hands out. These are my clothes I'm talking about. Get out. There's no room there for you. Get out. And, go on with the second lyric. But, yeah,
It's pretty
apparently
good.
these politicians haven't figured out that the best place for their hands is not inside other people's clothing.
Yes, thanks for the call, Ralph. Used to be like hands in my pockets just meant financially. It's been taken to a whole new
literal.
level. But I like some of the prose that Ralph.
I would have liked to hear him actually hum it, sing it. He kind of,
He's
he half-assed
He's a back office guy. He's a writer. We have Justin to do the singing.
Shout, shout, let it all out. No, we want to hear the.
Between Ralph and Rantoul and Justin, I think we have a Weird Al Yankovic kind of duo coming together. So we're going to have to work on that Shout Shout song for the Netflix policy. I like that.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Everything big city Dem mayors like Rahm Emanuel do is for the kids, they tell us with ersatz earnestness. Rahm, tiny dancer I call him, is quick to take up cause celebs like the Parkland High School Gun Control Brigade in the name of school safety. What Rahm and his leftist colleagues won't do is change school systems run by the adults for the adults, even when some of those adults are child predators. In a blockbuster expose, the Chicago Tribune documented a long-running sex abuse scandal inside the Chicago public schools that should end Tiny Dancer's career, should be international news on par with the coverage given the Catholic Church's scandal, and that should serve as a warning to public school parents across the country. According to the Tribune, since Tiny Dancer was elected in 2011, 430 reports of sexual abuse have been investigated, with credible evidence of misconduct found in 230 of those incidents. Worse yet, the story identified repeated failures to screen out Chicago public schools employees with prior arrests related to alleged sexual offenses involving children. A lot of attention is devoted to holding Pauls and their appointees accountable for threats to kids in school that come from the outside. What about the threats they welcome inside and cover for?
Accurate portrayal of a patient testimonial.
A few years ago, I started noticing how quick my legs got tired, sore, and heavy feeling. I'm over 40, so I figured par for the course, right? But then my doctor told me about vein disease. Vein disease is more commonly recognized as those naughty, bulging varicose or spider veins, but you can still have it and not see the obvious signs. In fact, vein disease is typically undiagnosed and can be debilitating if left untreated. So I went to the specialists at Vein Clinics of America for a free evaluation. They've been successfully treating vein disease for over 35 years. One easy test, and they can tell you definitely whether you have it or don't. I did. Treatments were minimally invasive, it was covered by my insurance, and now my ugly varicose and spider veins are gone. Thanks to Vein Clinics of America, my legs feel years younger, and I'm able to wear shorts and skirts again. So call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-223-9119. That's 800-223-9119. 800-223-9119.
The Northwest Side GOP Club presents the Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet. Join them for their annual fundraiser and more, June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. This is a great opportunity for Chicago area Republicans to get together for an enjoyable evening of information, fellowship, and the promotion of conservative Republican values. The evening begins with a first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rock group Madison Rising and continues with networking, exhibitors, raffles, and a delicious banquet dinner with keynote speaker Dan Proft from AM 560's The Morning Answer, recently appointed co-chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, Mark Shaw, will also speak on the role of conservatives within the Illinois Republican Party. Like any good conservative collective, the Ill-Advised event will offer attendees the opportunity to interact with local and national organizations, Republican candidates, and elected officials. Don't miss the Northwest Side GOP Club's Ill-Advised Conservative Collective and Banquet, with first responder and veteran salute by patriotic rockers Madison Rising, exhibitors, Republican candidates, and elected officials. June 21st at Lone Tree Manor in Niles. Join them as a sponsor, exhibitor, presenter, or attendee. For tickets and complete information, visit il-advised.com. That's il-advised.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Robito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com and click on Driving Range, then Junior Golf.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group and timeshare cancellation advocate. I was sued by the largest timeshare company in federal court for simply helping people cancel their timeshare that they had been lied to about. The jury sized me up and came back with a verdict after only 20 minutes, and yes, I won.
My husband and I are more than grateful to everyone at Wesley Financial Group. You know, thanks to Chuck and his team, we feel as though a weight has been lifted and we can move on without the worry of a troublesome timeshare.
Whether you owe $10,000 to $250,000 on your timeshare, it's my mission to get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off your back permanently. And we proudly hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Want to learn more about getting rid of your troublesome timeshare? Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free consultation. Call 800-902-5454. That's 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
AM 560, The Answer.
I think we should start a countdown on Chris Wray.
Oh, you think Chris Wray's in trouble?
I think he's in trouble. Yeah, I think he's in trouble. So Trump this morning on Fox and Friends was talking about how he's tried to stay out of DOJ, but now he might have to get back involved. And Wray's basically just saying this report focuses on a specific set of events, and doesn't impugn the integrity of our workforce at FBI.
I think it would behoove Trump to engage Wray, to engage Sessions and Rosenstein, and to signal to the American public that he's taking an active interest in working with the leadership of both agencies to restore the credibility that's been damaged by the previous leadership of both agencies. I think that's a good market position for Trump, substantively, and to tamp down on some of the antagonism and to be seen as a constructive influence draining the swamp.
I think he's gone by Wednesday.
Really? Wow, that's a bold prediction. I have this question, too, because we were talking about Netflix, just some odds and ends here. We're talking about Netflix new anti-harassment policy. So I want to get your take, female perspective on this. This is from Bill and Berwyn. If the new Netflix policy is no more than 5 seconds of eye contact, can I limit my eye contact to 5 seconds and then return to staring at a woman's chest?
No, I think you only get the 5 seconds. So you better start at the
5
chest.
seconds total?
Total.
All
so
right.
Direct that gaze exactly where you're going to get the most bang for your buck.
That's helpful, and that's why we have you sub
Thank
for Amy
you.
J, so we get those kind of insights. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Now we turn it over to Mike Scott for the headlines.
Emmanuel and Musk unveil high-speed rail. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.